Hey, happy Friday.
Hi guys. Happy cheery Friday. Oh my
Gusto
god.
niyo yung tugtugan natin?
You guys hear that in the background? You guys hear that song? Oh my god. By the way,
Diba?
Love Studios, I am wearing my 0917 shirt. Shout out to you guys.
Oh my god, where did you get it?
I don't know, my sister gave it to me, I think.
What?
Hey, sorry I'm late.
Hi Lance. Hi Anne. Hi Nico. And to everyone out there in the chat, thank you very much for being with us tonight. It is GSP Friday.
Kamusta?
Oh my God, the songs!
The song that's playing in the background is the one that we heard at the end of this episode.
Fools by, what's his name again? Nathan Mercury?
Nathan
and Mercury.
Yeah.
Correct. And can I just say, there's so many feelings that we are feeling tonight. So shout out to everyone in the chat.
Hi,
I
Mahal.
see Pietro. Hey, I see Rion. Hi, good evening. Sheltering. And Pat, good evening. Nako, grabe. Did you feel that? And Jude, well, thank you for being in the shower with us.
Yes.
Mag-walling ka rin ba dyan, Jude?
Yeah.
Grabe yung mga eksena ngayong gabi. Joy, thank you very much for being here. Nako, salamat sa pag-iintay.
Magpapagpag tayo lahat tonight.
Pagpag talaga. May pagluluksa na naganap. Magaganap na pagluluksa tonight. Diyos ko, shit! Grabe.
Minagsak nila sa second to the last na penultimate episode yung linyang yun.
Right.
God.
I know. And this is the penultimate episode. So,
Yes.
such a cliffhanger.
Yun na lang yung first episode, no? Yung parang sa Thybia series na yung second to the last is the cursed episode.
Right. Diba? Talagang they really give you that so that, they leave you hanging until the very last episode.
I know.
A lot happened in this episode. Does anyone want to start off the way my Wi-Fi is being homophobic? Not your Wi-Fi being homophobic.
May internalize lang.
Cancel yan. Cancel yung Wi-Fi na yan. Grabe. Right, Pat? I think we all feel the same way. That somehow our emotions, just like another series said, ginagago nyo ba kami? Inaano namin kayo?
Ano pa ginagawa sa kanila?
Hi, Patty. Thank you very much for joining us.
Ayan si Patty.
Hey, Patty.
And hey, Nolan. Good
Nolan.
Hey, Nolan.
Oh my God.
He is also here. We'll just say hi to everybody first.
Hello.
Welcome to the Brouhaha tonight.
Yes.
And Rafi is also here again. Hey, Rafi.
Hey, Rafi. Good evening.
Eh,
Survivor,
Oh my
good
God.
evening.
And lumalabas
Yes.
yung mga emotions natin, no?
Hi, Joy.
yeah.
So, Rafi, that was a very tense dinner scene. And I think they started with that dinner scene as well, right? So they sort of like gave us a preview of what's going to be happening in the entire episode. And then they brought us back a little bit before the dinner scene. Because, that's how they want to play with our emotions. They started with something happy, I mean, coming in from the previous episode wherein they just discovered that they like each other and everything was rainbows and cotton candy and kisses and hugs. And then they wake up in the morning and they're still very lovey-dovey. They're on a high because, still very new. They're playing around in the pool. They do a DBK inspired scene where they go in the water. Shout out to Dark Blue Kids, right? We know Gege is a big fan.
Yeah.
And I think it's a tribute scene for Dark Blue Kiss.
If I may, diba dun sa dinner scene wherein, I forgot if it's Vlad who held Carl's hand. Parang
Which
diba,
one? Two of them. There were three.
Yeah.
I think there was Vlad, there was Anna, and there was also Ate Judith.
Yes. I think it was the first one, yung sa dinner scene. also reminded me of another scene in BBK
Yeah.
wherein ang tawag dito? Oh my gosh, I forgot.
Faye.
Wherein new held Tay's hand. This is during a family lunch with his dad.
Yeah. When they had a lunch with his dad and so
Yes. Oo.
yeah.
Cow, oh my gosh, Pete and Cow. How can I forget?
Yeah, of
Yun.
course,
So
of
when Cow
course.
held his hand,
It
yun.
was very reminiscent of that because Tay was putting food in New's plate right in front of
Mhm,
Yes.
mother,
mhm.
and then New was like, "Stop doing that." So he held his hand to stop him from doing that.
No.
Yes.
Right.
Oo.
Okay.
Pero ako
Right.
lang ba, it's the first time that I was so satisfied with a cursed episode. Ang ganda eh.
Ang ganda talaga.
No?
I
Pero
agree.
kasi
Mm.
why parang what made you satisfied? Kasi 'di ba you're more into the Thai dramas. I mean, what balanced it out compared to
Yes,
the other cursed episodes?
we'd like to know.
Kasi, ewan ko kasi sobrang talagang ang feel mo na lahat ng characters. So, the fact,
Mm.
I really love this episode. Aside from the fact that I think it made me
Mhm.
understand more what my friends from the LGBTQ plus community are going through. Yung fact na yun, it's aside
Mhm.
from that, they were also able to portray the struggles of the people around them. Na parang
Right, right.
wala kang mahi-hate na character eh. Parang there was a major conflict, but you can't really blame or hate on anyone because yeah,
Mhm.
parang it's just life, that's life. And parang
Whole life.
talk about the characters, you can't blame Carl if he's still struggling about his sexuality, ganyan. And you can't
Mhm,
blame
mhm,
then if he wants to get the assurance from Carl because he already
Mhm.
had his heart broken because of the same
mhm.
reason. Hindi pa masyado sila nag-explore sa backstory na yun eh. And hindi
Yes.
actually talaga sobra hinate si Ate Judith. Though hindi ko, if I was Ate Judith actually, hindi ko gagawin yun. Pero
Yeah, yeah.
I guess she was just being a sister. Parang if I was in the shoes of Ate Judith, siguro hayaan ko lang si Vlad to experience the heartbreak. Kasi
Mhm,
dating
mhm.
yun sila sa point na yun eh. I'm sure. I medyo napaaga lang kasi nag-interview siya. Pero yeah, gets ko naman siya. Medyo, I think parang she just wants to, parang gusto niya bumawi kay Vlad, I guess,
Mhm.
because of what they've
Right,
gone
right.
through when they were um,
Yeah.
Mhm.
young. So, yon. But I was just satisfied, to be honest. I mean, syempre, lahat ng feels naramdaman ko. Pero, lalo kong na-appreciate yung show kasi ang galing talaga. Ang galing ni JMS. I mean, oh, like, ganon. Ganyan.
Yan.
Ako
Grabe.
naman, maybe if I can add to what Ange said, ako naman feeling ko, I feel for all the characters, pero if I were Ate Judith and nakita ko yung
Mhm,
kapatid ko na gano'n, I actually agree with what she said na parang I'm a sister for, parang 'di ba, Anna said na that's not something an ally would do.
mhm,
Yeah.
mhm.
Pero sabi ni Ate Judith, I'm a sister before an ally. So, feeling ko, while I also feel for, while I also feel for Carl, parang feeling ko, I would also be leaning towards Ate Judith. Kasi, syempre ako mahal ko yung
Hmm,
kapatid ko. And yun nga, gusto kong bumawi
Mhm.
sa kapatid ko. So, in a way, parang feeling ko, ganun din yung gagawin ko. Kasi parang nandun ka na sa point na ayaw mo na masaktan yung kapatid mo, diba? So,
right, right.
you'll just do anything and everything to just to make him happy in
Mhm,
any way that you can, even if it's at the expense of hurting, not really hurting, but it's at the expense of other people. So
right.
yun. Pero what I love about this episode is that they were able to portray the struggles of everyone, and they were
Mhm,
able to present the
Yeah, yeah.
scenes in such a way na you won't really
Mhm.
hate Ate Judith eh. Parang mas maintindihan mo yung perspective niya. And at the same time, you'd also understand why Carl and Vlad act the way they do. Which I
right.
really appreciate. Ang galing talaga. Ang galing ng portrayal,
Yes,
hands down.
definitely. Yes. Wait,
Yeah.
ako,
Agree.
I'd like to piggyback on what Patty said, no?
Take it
Sa part,
back.
sa
Piggyback.
part, piggyback. Ano yan? Ano dito? Kasi kung kapatid ka, babae, okay, kung ang tao or ang pamilya medyo conservative, don't expect that from a sister such as,
Yeah.
Ate Judith, 'di ba? Parang you would
Mm.
expect like a sister to be like, "Huy, ano ka ba? Hindi ka pwedeng maging bakla," or parang the family will like parang i-abandon ka ng family or what, right? But for the sister, I think it's a good thing, right? We may say na parang ano ba yun, dapat hindi ginawa ng sister. I felt that na parang hindi mo it's
Mm-mm.
inappropriate for an ally to do
Yeah.
that. But at the
Yeah.
end of the day, actually may acceptance yung kapatid eh. Hindi nga tolerance yung nangyari dun eh. Kasi number one, she's
Yep.
being protective of Vladimir as himself, not as someone else she wants him to be. Diba? So,
Yeah. Yeah.
ako, may
Correct.
appreciation ako for the sister because there's that protection and that protection is coming from acceptance.
Yeah.
So, ako, nagdadalawang isip ako na do I allow her to be protective with a sense of acceptance, or do I not allow her being protective kasi gusto kong parang I want Vlad to be like on his own, be heard, experience all these things, right? So ako, I'm leaning towards appreciating the sister, Ate Judith, because there's protection, there is acceptance there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So ako, I
Yeah.
can
Yeah, yeah, parang how I took it was kasi I was doing mix and match with all the characters in a way. Let's say, because I was looking if because what struck me was what Anna said. That's not how an ally thing would do. So
Yeah.
in my processing head, what happened was, let's say Ate Judith was a guy, Carl was a girl, and Vlad was a guy. What if this was a heteronormative story and swapped everything else? Keep on mix and matching the same lines,
Yeah.
same batuhan, same actions. Would you feel the same way? Would you be the same way? Would you act the same way? At the end of the day,
Yeah.
the same answer was yes. I'd be a protective brother. I'd be a protective sister.
Regardless.
I'd feel the same way. I'd still defend my brother or sister, whoever the person he loves. Kasi at Judith's intentions was really, I'm protecting the person I love so that he won't get hurt.
And that's the whole point there.
Aw.
Diba?
It has had to do with gender, so it had to do with just that kind of protection. And she knows in the back of her head that whatever Carl would say or do, kahit babae man siya o lalaki, or whatever, he will be there running to Carl to protect him again.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's what I appreciate about Judith is the fact that she does love her brother and that she's there to
Yeah.
protect him.
Yeah.
What I kind of disagree with in this particular episode, and this was my initial reaction, and I watched the scene again, and it was still my reaction, is with she told Anna to shut up, and I didn't appreciate that
Yeah,
because no
yeah.
matter how protective you want to be of your brother,
Agree.
I find that it's rude to tell someone to shut up. Like seriously,
Yeah.
it's not
Yeah, that
something
one,
that I
that part.
appreciate.
Well, yeah.
I mean, okay,
Sumobra
like
siya.
seriously. So I get that people can be emotional, but I feel that somehow there's always a way to say something without being rude about it. So, for example, she could have said, Anna, I appreciate, she could have said, Anna, let me talk or let me finish.
Right,
Something like that.
like ganun.
But to use the word
Mm.
shut up, I mean, it's just for me. And you guys might feel differently about it, but for me, really, I don't, I avoid that phrase.
Yeah.
So,
Buti Anna stayed calm. And she was
Right.
calm after being shut up. Said those exact words.
The thing with Anna is she knows how to read a room, right? So she knows when to talk. She knows when to
Love
stop.
her. I
Yeah.
love her so much.
Right? I mean, she's very
Right.
sensitive in that way. I mean, she even did that toast scene when she knew, oh, okay, so things are getting
Ang galing niya doon.
out of hand.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do a toast. Eyes to eyes, eyes to eyes. So I think she's very sensitive and very socially adept. So that's why she's able to do that. Hi, my kokoy. Bale. And also, I think it was a good sort of like turn of perspective there because we've always we've seen Vlad receive calls or text messages from an A. And then this time there was somebody else who was an A, but apparently it was Anna, right? And then there was a scene there wherein Carl was texting Anna and Anna was calling Vlad, and then Carl saw the number, wrote it down, and then called the number, and it turned out to be Anna. So that's all pretty much. It was sort of like a very very surprising, sort of like very smart and parang mysterious but happily surprising kind of situation or turnout. Right? It so happened that they were plotting something, not plotting something, but they were planning something for Carl specifically. A very romantic movie filming, by the way. So I appreciate Judith. There's just a few things that I still don't appreciate. The accent again. Again,
Oh,
guys,
drop
Désolé.
it.
just just
My
sweetest,
God,
sweetest,
you're
guys.
from Shut
But
Up
this
to
is just
Désolé.
Yeah.
she apologized for it, but then she said it in French, which Anna might not necessarily understand. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but anyways, again, this is just me, guys. You have a different opinion. That's okay. But Anna, I really appreciate Anna. Like, I love her. I don't.
Agree.
Yeah. So, anyone else?
Si
Mark,
Mark
hi.
talaga.
Good evening.
Mark, you're next. Hi, Mark.
Initial thoughts. Sorry.
Hello.
Mm.
Actually, the reason why I'm late is because I watched the episode again. I'm so sorry. I have to be very honest. I
Yes.
watched the episode again,
Oh.
and
Yes.
I
Yes.
went
I
through
wanna watch it
the
again
same
later.
feels.
Me too. Hindi ako
Uh-huh.
makatulog.
I
Aw.
don't know, like, uh, I don't know. I don't know where to start. Right?
So,
Every
Kaya mo
minute
yan,
of it.
Mia.
yeah, you can start with Ate Judith
Yeah.
first. I think that's the main topic now.
I'm sorry. Okay. Di ba? I'm late. So, yun yan. Okay, sige. Let's start with Ate Judy. Thank you so much na hinimay-himay niyo siya. So, hindi ako
Yes.
mahirapan to
Yeah.
express myself.
We'll start first with her.
Yes.
Okay, sige. So, pouring all my attention to Ate Judith. Well, well, I loved her at first. I mean, I would have to agree with Mike. Pero at first, I loved her when she knocked on the door and then she would say, "Hi, pancake!" So parang it somehow, so gusto ko ginaya ko talaga.
Yes.
It shows how, parang for me kasi, it shows where she stands throughout the whole episode.
Yeah.
Kasi she didn't parang hide her, or she didn't mince her words into saying na, "Hey, Carl and Vlad. Hey, friends." Parang, di ba? So, she interpreted a good footing on where she stands, na nakita nga natin throughout the episode, na when she called them pancakes, no? So somehow I got the hint that, so that's her perspective, so he or she has the same perspective as her brother, parang ganon. That's what I got from her.
Mhm.
When I like the puns, the jokes in at the beginning. I find it's a very good writing for me. The way they incorporated Bert and Ernie. I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh,
Platonic.
talaga.
right,
Ay,
right. I
nako.
mean, the last time I heard about Bert and Ernie was when the news about Bert and Ernie came out. I mean, and that's pretty much it. I mean, I never heard of it again. I mean, so thank you so much for reminding me that my childhood is ruined. But okay.
Oh.
Yeah. So moving to the part where they are already in the house and they're having dinner. I understand where she's coming from. Parang I would have to agree at
Yeah.
some points with what Mike said earlier. I don't know if you guys mentioned anything na about this, pero since I'm late, please bear with me kung uulitin ko siya.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Worry.
I agree with her on the part na she's protective of her brother kasi that's what an ate would do. I mean, ako I'm the youngest. So that's what I experienced then with my siblings na they just want the best for you. I mean, and having her since she know the experience of her brother with the past relationship, I really understand and I really understood why she did what she did. However, I would have to agree with Mikey earlier when he said na she could have minced her words this time when she told Anna to shut up. Ako personally, I don't agree with that phrase or that sentence or that expression on how you tell someone to hear you out first. But at some point, I kind of understand where she's coming from because she's full of emotions. I mean, her judgment may already be clouded because of her emotions and her being overly protective sister or ally. Yeah, and I like how the episode addressed, because I've mentioned it to you already in the past lives, that being an ally is not a personality. So I think they that's one thing they should have addressed early on, but I like that they addressed it now in this, in just a simple, like when Carl and Vlad simultaneously called out na she's an ally. So parang they understand that she's making it as her personality. So I think that's a good way of
Yeah.
like closing the plot hole, or like looping her storyline in terms of her personality being an ally. Well, when she talked to Carl personally, actually, when she mentioned na Sandy, like, you have a delivery, right? And then
Mm-hmm,
she
mm-hmm,
asked
mm-hmm.
Alam mo
she
na.
asked him to take Vlad. It's like, oh my
Yeah.
god, it's
We
about
all
to go
know that scene.
down.
About to go
It's
down.
like,
Yeah.
okay, so it's her overly protected sister mode kicking in. I mean,
Yeah.
I I I, I wouldn't blame her for talking to Carl, because she has already have this relationship with Carl at some sort. I mean, they may not be as close, but they've already been together from
Mhm.
some few other times. So I think hindi naman siya out of place. Or I mean, to talk to Carl. I mean, that act of her asking Santi and Vlad to go down so she could talk to Carl, I think that is understandable for me. However, yeah, I would have to agree with Anna, no, na when she said that it's not an ally thing to do, to corner someone. However, on the flip side kasi, I don't know if we'll talk about Tito Santos next. Pero kasi her
We can do that
perspective
after.
is, yeah, like her perspective in talking to Carl is opposite of the perspective of Sans talking to Vlad. But they both have a point. I mean, yeah, I mean, I don't know where to put my finger. I've been saying that a lot.
I
They both
know.
have a point.
Pero
So
kasi
every
si Tita Sans kasi, he's already part of the community. Kaya I think mas
yeah,
Yeah.
gets niya. While
yeah.
Ate is just actually trying to be an ally because of her brother. And to be honest, parang in this episode, yung pagiging ally niya is just limited to, sort of limited to her brother.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah.
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 If it doesn't affect her brother on a positive side, parang she would not be
Yeah.
that much interested and invested into her being an ally. Parang
Yeah.
ganon.
Pero
Yeah.
wasn't she an ally for you no when he was talking to Santi? To Tito Santi?
Oh yeah.
So I think that was the purpose why they put Santi into the script as well.
Yep.
It's to show
Yeah.
na she could be an ally to show us there's a difference between her being an ally to another gay person or out person compared to Carl, where she becomes a sister first and then she becomes an ally.
Hmm.
I'm I'm not sure. Probably she was just curious about Tito Sans.
Feel ko.
I don't know
Mhm.
if her talking to him in that way and asking about the boyfriend or the ex or whoever he was in a relationship is considered being an ally. But
Yeah.
I can say that Anna is an ally in deeds
Yes.
versus
Mhm.
Judith, who always declares she's an ally. And there was one point in the episode as well wherein she was gonna say she was an ally, but then Carl and Vlad beat her to it by chorusing she's an ally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like
Yeah, that
you really
scene.
are really are in the truest sense of the world of the word. Do you have to declare it so much? Because parang it's like you want people to believe you are. That's why you have to keep saying it over and over again. So I don't know.
Hmm.
I'm probably overthinking it, but I know
Yeah.
that Anna is an ally without even declaring that she is an ally. So that's the kind of BFF that we
Yeah.
want, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And I think it's very since we mentioned Tito Sands,
Now we're
I
moving to
also think
him.
that unless you guys want to mention anything else, but I just want to quickly mention Tito San since it was already mentioned as well earlier that when Judith asked him to go down to get the dessert, which he never ordered, by the way, he was very quick in doing so as well. So he knew that she wanted to talk to Carl in some
It's,
form of way, and then he also wanted to confirm something with Vlad because
Mm-hmm.
she was concerned about her brother and he was concerned about his pamangkin or nephew. So I think that was a good thing to do, right? I mean, get them
yeah.
out of the situation so that they can both be comfortable talking. Although in her part, it was more like a forced kind of conversation. and to which
Yeah.
Anna, to which Anna sort of like called out, right? Because you don't do
Yeah.
that. You don't do a lot, right? Exactly. Because he wasn't ready to talk about it. I mean, but anyways, so going to Tito Sands, I think that he was very sensitive about it, and I think that it's also not uncalled for because he was close to Vlad. They were neighbors, and they basically know each other, right? And
Yeah.
Sands knows about Vlad's ex and everything, right? So I think that him approaching him and not questioning, but asking him about his relationship with Carl was, I think, appropriate and it was timely as well because they were alone and he also needed to clarify. And it was a good thing that he introed with, so I see that you have things in the apartment.
Yeah.
so he also
Yes.
so he premised the conversation by saying that. And Vlad, I mean, yeah, Vlad could have brushed it off, could have not wanted to talk about it, but because he responded, then that conversation started happening. And I think at that point it was very smart as well that there were parallels in the conversation.
Yeah.
So she was asking Carl and he was asking Vlad, and they were sort of like both trying to understand what was going on between the two, right? But what killed me, well, not really killed me, but what sort of got me was that Vlad definitely confirmed that he had feelings for Carl, but then Carl told Ate Judith not in that way. And the reason why he said not in that way, because he was trying to protect himself,
Right.
his image, because he saw his parents' photo on the tabletop.
Yeah.
Um,
Anna was holding his hand and she was sort of like doing that. And then by her moving his hand, the parents' photo appeared. So that he might have said something different, but since he saw the photo, he sort of suddenly closed in on himself. So, um, what else? Also, I wanna explore that conversation a little bit as well. There was a mention of not pulling people out of their shell. I
Yes.
think
Yes.
Santi
Yes.
said, "I watched him grow up. I love him. Give
yeah.
him
Oh.
time. Give him time.
Mm.
Yes.
Don't pull him out." Diba?
Yeah.
Because
Yes.
Yeah.
if he's not ready, he's not ready. And then
Mhm.
Judith, on the other hand, was pulling him out because
I
she
love the
was
Yeah.
contrast.
asking, she was
Yeah.
asking him
Yes.
questions. And it was like, Anna, say something. Anna, say something. But she already stopped. So I was like, okay, she is pulling him out. And I was thinking, how is this gonna go? And true enough, he retreated into his shell, especially when he saw his parents' photo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? I was like, oh
Yes.
my god, oh my god, oh my god. And I think that speaks to a lot of and that speaks to one of another conversation that we had, right? That and I appreciate that Ange said something to that effect the other episode that we talked about. She said,
Yeah.
as an ally, I will not force people to admit to who they are if they're
Yes.
not
Yeah.
ready. And I
Yes.
appreciate that about Ange. And then Ate Judith does the complete opposite.
I
Ipasok niya
know.
to sa
Parang yun
BL.
nga eh.
He was
Ipasok niya
like,
to sa BL.
tell me you're gay.
Take
Tell me
note.
you're
Ate
gay.
Judith, take notes.
She
Oo.
wasn't ready. She wasn't ready. So I
Unfortunately,
feel
Ate Judah
bad.
doesn't have the same psych or reading as Anna does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True, true, true.
Ako, I think kasi depende talaga yan sa pagiging ate. I mean, I don't actually hate Ate Judith. I get her, but yeah, it's a bad thing to do, especially for someone who's still struggling about his sexuality. But yeah, if I was her talaga, I think I would have let them just experience the... Actually, it's a love story. Parang I would have just let them experience the heartbreak. Kasi pumunta rin talaga sila sa point na yun eh. I mean,
Mm.
yung conflict na 'to, parang kung ako yung ate, sana hindi, parang ano bang term nun? Parang hindi ako manghihimasok dun sa what they're going through. And let them learn it by themselves.
Unless, unless kasi there's something that happened to Vlad in the past X that he turned dark, kumbaga. And maybe that's what she's preventing to happen. But we don't know the
Right,
story yet.
absolutely.
So
You
I think
have
that's what she's scared of kasi that's the stories that are passed on. If you're fresh ally, you'd see a lot of those stories being passed on. Like people like us would kill themselves because of this and this and
Well,
this.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you flashed a comment from somebody, right, regarding
Ange
Ate
daw,
Judith
snooker
saying
Hallelujah.
something. Oh my
Hi,
god!
snooker!
Oh my god! There's Snooker!
Snooker!
Oh my god!
Nagulat ako.
Hi, Snooker!
Nagulat ako.
Oh my god!
Ako rin eh.
Okay,
Hi,
backgrounder.
snooker!
Snooker is
Mabuhay.
one of our management team.
Oh, hi.
So we're kind of surprised.
Oh.
Hi, sir.
Hi, sir.
Yeah.
Hi, sir,
Okay,
not part of
so-
your team in Portland.
Like you
And
were
then
saying
somebody,
one
yeah,
comment.
you
Which
flashed
one?
a comment about, well, somebody said something that Ate Judith said, that she said something about if you're not ready yet, right? And I think what she said as well was,
Ito ba yun?
Carl, kung hindi, yung
No.
Carl, kung hindi ka pa handa, wag mo siya paasahin.
Ah, yes.
I have
Yes.
seen
Ah.
I have seen what someone who isn't ready do to my brother, right? And she also said, don't let him go back in just to protect you because he will do that.
Because he will do it.
My brother is really loud with his love. He is done hiding. And now what he wants is for someone to be proud of him too, who will sort of like declare him to the world. Parang something like that, right?
Yeah.
Sana this time may pagmamalaki rin siya. So I appreciated that about her. Yeah, so that was
Yeah.
also something that she said. But I think maybe it was in the way that she did it, or maybe it's
Yeah.
just that Carl wasn't ready, so that's why he also retreated back onto himself, right?
And we were all in Carl's head during that moment, so that's why we have the same feeling for Ate Judith.
I know. So I don't know. I'm still processing it, guys. I'm sorry. But definitely, I love that conversation between the four of them, because the parallels were there, and then you have them sort of like converging at one point and then totally diverging at the end of it. Like, oh my god. And that can totally happen, especially if, for example, you have two different people who are at two different points in their lives. One is so ready
Yeah.
to jump in, and one is not even sure of himself yet, right? Like
Yeah.
Carl said, parang hindi ko nga alam kung ano ako eh. 'Di ba? Paano ko masasabi 'yun? Parang, and then I'm trying to recall that conversation.
Yeah, and I think the hardest part kasi for all of us is all of us, we are Vlad, we are Anna, we are Judith, we are Carl, and we are also Kuya San. So we see ourselves in each of the characters in this episode because we've all been there. So it's really hard to digest all of it now.
Ang talino talaga ni JMS.
Kasi, yeah, I mean, like there was one part na I'd see myself in Carl, then I'd switch back, no, I'm Vlad, and then I'd go back, no, I'm Judith, and go back, I'm Anna. So this is really a roller coaster.
Right.
Because I could be an Anna to my best friend. I was Carl when I was confronted. I'm Vlad currently, and I was Santi way before. So there's that struggle. There's that roller coaster emotions. You're jumping from one head to another, and I'm Judith for my sisters, for my friends as well. So it's that kind of jump.
Yeah.
And you emphasize to everyone. And tama nga si Ange, this is practically life. I mean, the problem is bigger than all of us. I mean, it's bigger. It's not just a plain love story that crosses like there's a villain, but it's a story of life itself. The layers of the realism of all the social problems, the social constructs created, the political and sexual gender things thrown into this episode was all there.
I know.
Whew.
Okay, but,
I have so many
Oh my
thoughts.
gosh.
like,
pero, pero yun nga, I
Mark,
actually,
I
yeah,
agree.
go.
I agree with Mark. Mark says, always remember that Carl is not the problem. Their love is not the problem. The problem here are the judgment of
Yeah.
people. The problem here is societal constructs. The problem here is that
And
people do not accept this
know,
kind of love.
yung
Or they're not used to this kind of
knowing
love.
Carl's parents, oh my God, I can't imagine that scene talaga. Yun yung medyo inaabangan ko eh. If
What
once
scene?
he
Sorry.
What scene?
parents, no, I mean, hindi pa
Yeah, if
nangyayari. He confronts his parents about this. It's like, shit.
yeah,
Yeah.
Did
Kaya
you see it in the
until
preview?
You think it will happen?
I'm
I
not
don't know if it
sure.
will
Baka
happen. But one
well,
thing
I don't know. Next episode, maybe.
maybe. But one
We'll
thing I
see.
remember is we haven't seen the scene wherein someone was hugging Tito Sanz from the back, and it was Carl. So I think that's
Yeah.
gonna be a tearjerker that is gonna happen in the next episode. So I don't
Let's
know
in the
see.
last episode,
what
in
that's
the last
about.
episode,
Oo nga.
Hi. And like
What?
my partner actually commented nga there saying that, yeah, I'm Carl to my dad. So I understand what Carl was going through because I've been there too. I've been confronted like in that certain situation too. So
Yeah.
damn, I know the struggle. I mean, you're scared. You're afraid to let the people know that you're this because you don't want to be judged. You don't want to be kicked out of your house. You don't want to be killed. You don't want to be found out you're gonna be you're gonna be murdered the following day. You don't want that because I think that was what
Carl.
society.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a construct that society gave us growing up. That was the image
Yeah.
that they showed us growing up. So it's hard. And to flip it all to another episode, another series, that once you come out, you have to be a certain kind of gay. And I'm happy right now that they're showing that you don't have to be that certain kind of gay. You don't have to wear a
Right.
dress. You don't have to wear heels. You don't have to be this. You can be who you are and still love the
Who
person
you
you
want
love.
to be. Right,
Mhm.
absolutely.
And
And
it
I think
goes back to the end statement saying, you own your own truth.
Yes.
Ay, gusto ko i-flash and wait lang ha.
you own the rights to your own truth.
Ang
Yeah.
ganda nito.
Yes.
Ang ganda
You want me
nito.
to you want me to put it in the chat?
Ayan talaga
It's there
siya,
na.
naka-flash na.
Ikaw may pag-aari sa
ang-
sarili mong katotohanan. Totoo.
Ang ganda.
That's very true. But I think yun nga eh, parang we talked about social constructs and we talked about the expectations of people and I think we also talked about the fear of rejection especially from the people that you love, your parents, your family. And I think it's also about disappointing them because for your entire life, of course, you love your parents and you want them to love you as well. And part of them loving you, we believe, is for us to not disappoint them, to be the good son, to be the perfect son, right? To live up to their expectations and to their idea of who you are, right? So I think that was very evident in this scene because Carl said, my God, this entire scene, like, okay, first scene, parang drama. And then after the opening credits, happy, pool, and then dinner, and then
Tension.
gazebo, and then alam mo yun, so I'm gonna talk about the last part. So roller coaster of emotions night. So the last part when they had that conversation. So it all comes to the focus, to the fore when Carl said that they saw us. My tito saw us. What if he tells my parents, diba?
Yes.
And then Vlad said, well, he already knows. I mean, and then Carl said, what? He knows? Why didn't he talk to me about it? Right? I mean, why didn't he
Yeah.
mention
Am I
it at
too
all?
obvious?
And why did you talk to him about it? Why did you tell him that, there's something between us? Is there something between us? I don't know. I don't even know who I am. Right? So I think all of those things came crashing in. Alam mo yun? Parang he was so overwhelmed by fear, anxiety, parang, alam mo yun, all of those things. Because it's been conditioned all of his life to act a certain way and then to finally have a different perspective that someone knows who you are, na halata ka, and it might be something that everyone is thinking about you. Parang, okay, so I've been living this lie all this time. I mean, have I not been,
Yeah.
parang hindi ko ba nagampanan yung role ko? Parang have I not been doing it right? Like, so, alam mo yun, parang it was just all of those things. And I felt that with him. I was like,
Yeah, me too.
I was there. I mean,
Yeah.
sometimes I even feel it. I mean, when there are expectations from other people that I don't live up to, etc. So parang somehow you still feel the same way. Somehow you want to please everybody. I mean, you
Yeah.
want to please the people that matter to you or who you think um, their opinions matter to you, right? So parang but then there's also the confusion that he doesn't know how he really feels. And then Vlad said, "You kissed me," which goes back to the previous episode wherein, diba, when he said, "Ayoko na mag-isip," and then
Yes.
she lunges for Vlad and then kisses him, right? So parang that's what Vlad was referring to. You kissed me, right? So how can you tell me that you don't know who you are or what you feel? And then Carl says, "Well, bakit kailangan may kahulugan yun? Why does that have to mean anything? Maybe it doesn't mean anything. Maybe I just want to try things out because I've never tried anything out because I've been afraid to do anything." So, I mean, like, shit, this is basically my head. This was
I
like,
know. I understand mine too. Mine too. So I felt
oh
Carl
my
a lot.
God.
It's like I feel Carl, but I want to be Vlad. You know that struggle.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Same. I think we all are.
Yeah.
Oy,
Because you
welcome
want to
naman natin
love
si
freely.
Maya before anything else.
Hi.
Hi, Maya!
Hi,
We're
Mai.
all
Hi.
complete!
Hi, Maya. Woo! We're
Uy, 7 na
full!
tayo.
Seven na
Yes!
tayo!
Oh my gosh, it's the first time we're
Pictures!
complete.
Yes!
And we were
So, hi,
able to test
everyone.
7 windows finally.
Yes! Hi, everyone.
Yes!
This is the complete Brouhaha squad.
O,
Thank you very
magpakilala
much.
ulit tayo! Let's introduce
My name is
ourselves again.
Mike. My name is Mike.
Ayan. So, that's Ange over there. And then there's Mikey. Then that's Patty over there. And myself, I'm Nico. This is Mackie or Mark. Then
Mark, let's go with Mark.
Yes,
that's
Mark.
Rand. And of course, the queen bee, Maya.
Our queen.
Hi, Queen.
Wow.
Can I just be
Hi,
the princess
Queen.
to everyone? That's Maya, not Mia,
Sure.
but Maya.
Kamusta ka
Yes.
Oh my
sis?
gosh. Super
Kamusta ang
sorry
puso
for
mo?
being late. Oh my gosh, hindi ko
It's
I think it's a
okay.
wrong decision that I watched episode 6 and 7 in one night, in one sitting.
Oh my God.
Because I still haven't
Heavy.
recovered from episode 6 and now I'm still trying to
Aww.
process all of the emotions for episode 7.
Yes. Right. So it was a roller coaster of emotions, right? And Maya, we were just talking about the last scene there, and also one pivotal question that Lad asked, and he tried to simplify it, diba? Because he wanted to make it easy for Carl. He asked, "Gusto mo ba ako?" And he didn't respond. Carl didn't respond because again, he doesn't know. He's not sure of the answer yet. But then when he started to pull away, and somebody said it in the chat, when he started to pull away, Carl said, "Okay tayo, Vlad. Okay? Okay tayo, Vlad. Okay?" And I
Yeah.
was like,
Yeah.
he doesn't want him to go, but he can't say the words that Vlad wants
Parang
to
Carlene lang
hear.
to.
Correct.
Parang si Carlene at saka si Pearl lang to.
Oh my God, right? Parang, I can't tell you that I like you, but I don't want you to pull away. Alam mo yun,
Pero
parang,
I think the biggest statement na nabasa ko sa chat was from LM. She was saying that I think Carl loves him or likes him, but he cannot accept what will he face when he starts doing that.
Yes.
He's
Yeah.
afraid.
Exactly.
He's
Sure will.
afraid.
So what's this? Oh, Patrick, we are talking about Gaya sa Pelikula. It's a Filipino BL series. So if you want to go ahead and check it out, you can do so, and then you can come back when you're done. But there's 7
Yes.
episodes, so that's gonna take a while. Yeah.
Yeah, sandwiched.
Yeah.
It was more like a
Yeah.
clubhouse
See,
sandwich.
that's the reason why
Clubhouse.
I
Diba?
wasn't that disappointed. Kasi usually taga if it's first, grabing nainis ako and I wouldn't rewatch this episode. But for this, I will rewatch it over and over again because sobrang amazing lang how they perfectly laid out the twists and turns. For
Yes.
me. Parang nung una
And
naghahampas
yeah.
ako ng unang
That's one
kilit,
Rion.
pero Ngayon, yung confrontation scene, oh my God, lahat na ng feelings na pwede mo feel.
And grabe yung end credits. I mean, it really spoke like they were not in the room.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That shook me so bad. But oh shit, it's that bad.
And yun nga, di ba? Parang the final saying was, you own the rights to your own truth. But I think Carl was not owning his truth because I
Because he
think
was still living,
he wasn't
living for someone else.
sure of his own truth yet. And hopefully he gets there in the last episode.
Yes.
It's a long process. Depends if we think like Carl, it's gonna be a long process.
If they
And
don't end up in
actually,
the last episode, I will totally understand. Like you said,
Yeah, I
it's a long
understand
process.
too. Me too. It's a really long process, and there might be a season 2 for that. So let's see and hope.
yeah, maybe there's a season 2 after all. Because, like, I can't really wrap my head in the idea that they're gonna end everything in the next episode. Like, how are they gonna wrap up everything, right? If they're not gonna have a second season for that. So,
Yeah.
that's
With a
just
I
hand clap,
think they have. I think they
with a
have.
high five.
They have.
tama ng high five. Tapos na tayo dun.
By the way, I forgot about the very, very last thing that Carl said. So why act like I accused you of a crime?
Yeah, that was the scene I was looking for
Yeah.
noon. So it was bound to happen. It came on the penultimate episode. Ah, why? How can you
So
recover from that?
it mirrors the dining table scene, right?
Hmm.
But the context was a little bit different because now it's heavier because you know that
Yeah.
they have feelings for each other. But it's
Yeah.
just that
Emotional investment already.
I know. I cannot think today, so I'm sorry.
So that means this is not the last episode, right? Sorry, I'm really clueless.
No, we have one more episode. One more episode
Okay.
in the series.
Oh my gosh, I have super high hopes for that.
Yeah, so I don't know how they're gonna tie it all together, or if it's gonna come back full circle to another scene in the previous episode. But
Yeah.
definitely, it has been quite an emotional ride.
Yeah, that was they used a
Correct.
song from a musical called Mula sa Buwan, which is called
Yeah.
Ikaw. It was the montage song if you're familiar. If you're familiar with Cyrano, the musical, Mula sa Buwan is the Philippine adaptation of that, wherein Cyrano was like a ghostwriter for his friend called Christian, and they're writing to Roxanne. Because they both liked Roxanne, but Cyrano, Christian didn't have the strength to write her tag na to. Because he didn't have the brains, kumbaga, and Cyrano had the long nose, and he was really conscious of how he felt or how he looked like.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it threw me to that na Vlad was like Cyrano, just watching Carl from afar while he was trying to write or do videos of him without him knowing.
Right. That was so sweet, actually, right? I mean, it's something out of a. I mean, we've seen pretty much sort of. Well, not pretty. Well, we've seen similar scenes in some of the beloved IBLs, right? Like, for example, they knew when New decorated the a room with all of those lights and photos and such. So it was sort of like something like that when they decorated the gazebo and there were lights and there was a screen and then it showed the video that Carl made
Yeah.
Vlad made for Carl. And there was a message,
Yeah.
right? I mean, there was a message that wasn't showed in this episode, but let me look for that message. It's in Twitter and it's also on the YouTube video. But
I posted it.
You know what Vlad
There's a
made?
caption. Yeah.
yeah, there was a caption. Let me go find that, and you guys can talk about it a little bit more.
Si Maya, wala pa yatang sinabi. Maya.
O Maya, magsalita ka dyan.
Go,
Was
man.
there-
Hello. He came from episode 6 and 7 together in one day.
Are you still processing, Maya?
Grabe, malaga.
Ayaw nakasalita agad.
Ang napansin ko lang, super, I'm speechless. Ang napansin ko lang kasi, there's like a complete turnaround of emotions for each episode because for episode 6, it started on a sour note. but it ended positively. So parang there's like a turnaround there. And then for this episode, I was hoping that there would be another turnaround after that confrontation or after that problem or conflict with them. So when the final episode, when the most recent episode ended with that scene you're in, um, when sorry, what's his name? When the other guy just
Right.
cried, diba? Parang,
Right.
oh my gosh,
Yeah.
tapos there's only like a few seconds left more
Yeah.
just
Oh.
to save
Right.
the ending, but there's not. So parang, I have so much hopes for the next episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll
Wait.
see.
Siguro ano,
Well,
sige, go Mike.
Okay, so I found the message, which we didn't see in the episode, but the message reads, "Dear Carl, I look forward to the movies you'll be writing, and I'm sure they'll be better than this. But for now, I hope this suffices. The last month felt like getting drawn into a screen, a film I wasn't meant to be in, one I could have easily been written out of. Thank you for writing me in. It's been swell. See you outside, please. We deserve it. Don't you think, Carl?
Aww.
There, Albert. Yes.
Shit.
Aww.
So, so he was. Remember the previous scene in episode 6, wherein Carl said that he wanted to write stories, and Vlad said that he also wanted to write stories, but he wanted to be in charge of the ending. This was the ending that he wanted. He wanted them to be together. But then the ending that happened was they were sitting on the hanging chair, whatever that is, the swing.
Mm.
Carl rubs his head. And the end of the episode, they left each other. So remember Dad? How did Dad leave? And how was Vlad traumatized?
Shit. Oh my god, yes.
By
Double
Shirley.
trauma.
I'm not coming back.
Pero, oh my
That-
God, I just...
That's why he told his sister, "You're all right. You're all right." Because I think he went back to that time when he was left by the dad, and again he
Yeah.
felt like he failed the family, or he failed his role of being.
Yeah.
Sakit.
Or he failed the
Di ba?
family kasi di ba episode 6 was like the mom wanted to meet Carl and parang I hope this guy's gonna be a different person na.
Yes, na-mention yun last episode.
Ang sakit. Gusto kong i-hug si Ian.
Si Ian talaga, hindi si Vlad.
Ian.
Ako ay pasensya. Pero gusto kong i-hug si Ian nung moment na yun. Oh my God.
Pero I also like the fact that the story showed both sides of the characters, diba? So parang
Yeah.
you're also parang torn between the two characters because somehow you
Yeah.
agree with both their situations, and you also it's because they both have a point and they're both coming
I
from
tend
a different place, diba? And it just so happened that they really just, everything just happened in such bad timing for now.
Yeah.
Okay. Uy, pero ako lang ba yung after they kiss, and then parang there's a shadow of the three, Anna, Ate Judith, and
Tita
Tito
San.
Sans.
Ito Santi.
Napapasok, oh my God, this is it. Kasi
Yeah, actually, same din.
Yeah.
nag-pause muna ako, tapos napatayo ko. Oh my God, ito na.
Ito na yung bagsakan.
Ayun.
I think somebody in the and this is I think people are, what do you call this, predicting what's gonna happen. I think Rion mentioned at some point that why does he feel like Vlad is gonna leave the country to heal, and I can see that as a possibility. Maybe that's the reason why he wanted to go to Thailand in the first place, because he was still nursing a heart, right?
Yeah, it's that's
Remember?
another heartbreak.
And that's why he was singing, he was dancing. Well, I don't know, because I guess he was trying to forget, trying to heal himself. But now, a few months after that heartbreak, here's another heartbreak. So I can totally see that happening. I can totally see that happening.
My God, that happened. Alam mo yung feeling na yan, ha?
Pumunta sa
Rion,
GMMTV.
Punyeta.
Doon siya pumunta sa GMMTV. Diyos ko.
Diyos ko.
GMM talaga.
Ko doon.
Oh my God.
My God, Mikey just brought me to my history.
Oh, you wanna share? You wanna share? Ang shakit. Grabe.
Yeah, ang
Yes,
sakit
yun naman ako.
talaga. Sige lang, you need to hydrate.
Wait,
Water
Jojo.
bag.
Soju pala to.
Bero ka lang ako eh. Bero ka.
Pero
my
grabe
God.
yun. I mean, I know that feeling. Kasi, let's say I had that same heartbreak last year, June. Because I got replaced. Or I found out that my ex was falling for another person. So I had that same confrontation as well. I had clues already. So
Mhm.
I asked him, who would you love more? Is it me or him? And he couldn't answer. So that spoke a lot. So I told him, you don't even have to answer
Nice.
anymore. I already know your answer. So let's break it off.
Aww.
And give it a few months, I thought I would meet someone I really liked. Kaya I felt Vlad in a way na umaasa siya. That line na Ate Judith saying, it felt like she was saying that to me when I was in October, na wag mo siyang paasahin kung hindi ka pala ready. Because the guy I was dating way back in, after that ex moment I thought he was ready, but like we came to the point na I asked him, are you really ready? And he said, no. I like you, but I'm not really ready. And the world felt crashing like hell. I think the thing I did afterward was go out, drink alone in a bar, finish one whole set of
Ay.
beer, then go home. You know, just
Mag-isa ka
3 beers na
lang?
dire-diretso. Yeah, I was alone during that time.
Aww.
And you know where I went? I was supposed to go to O, but for some reason I didn't have the heart to go because I wanted to dance, get into loud music just to forget everything that day. But for some reason I couldn't find or figure out myself or find to walk to O.
Ay.
So I went to the closest bar, ordered 3 bottles of beer, drink it like water, dire-diretso. Then sabi ko, ayoko na, let's go home.
Yeah.
Because I felt like the universe was sending me a big, loud message saying that.
Oy, super sad, no? But we're talking about how to deal with the heartbreak, no? Pero I would not propose, but I would invite
Ito
everybody
na naman.
that
Yun naman tayo.
Acronym na naman
Wait.
ba?
No. It's not the we have a verse for the acronyms for now, yes. But next week, since tama ba, last episode the next week, correct?
Yeah.
At dahil, I know, but dahil dyan, wala mo ng acronyms tonight, ha? But I would invite everybody to do an inuman. So Friday next week, lahat tayo,
Oh my
may
God.
sa alak, okay? So it can be anything, right?
I'm down. I'm
So,
down.
yes.
I'm down.
So it can be
Ganyan.
beer, wine, whatever, kung ano mang meron dyan. Huwag po
Handa?
rubbing alcohol, ha?
Bakit
Hindi
yung mga
rubbing
girls?
alcohol.
Bakit yung mga girls yung meron? Ano meron?
Ay!
Kaya nga
Ako!
Lasing.
Hindi tayo magpapatalo dyan. Hindi tayo magpapatalo. So we'd like to
Guys,
invite
lalaking ko to.
everybody. Yes. Ano yan?
Hindi to sponsorship, guys. I am not affiliated with Green Cross or any of their subsidiaries. The views and opinions of the host do not reflect the views and opinions of Green Cross or any other trust.
Oy, I would say, seryoso talaga ako din, ha? Pag walang alak, tatanggalin sa room.
Oh my gosh, baka kung ano masabi natin dahil sa alcohol.
Ay, yan. Nako, mataas ang dosage natin. No, everybody, friends natin who are watching sa chat, most especially, bring any spirit. Spirit? Okay. O, basta.
Marami ako niyan.
At dahil dyan, Chris Bills ba or Biles, maraming salamat sa proposal na ito. Lahat na nakikita ko dito talagang pinapatulan ko talaga, no? So, seryoso ako dyan sa inuman na yan. Push
Doc ba?
natin yan next Friday. Sorry.
Parang may stethoscope eh. Hi, Doc. Doc ba siya?
Hashtag
Idol.
BBS naman.
Or nurse?
Ayun,
Yeah.
he's a doctor.
Nurse. Oo.
Mm.
O, sa lahat ng mga
Yeah.
frontliners natin dyan, maraming salamat. Congratulations. Isang pagpupugay po sa inyo lahat. Yan.
Thank you for
At
all
dahil
your hard
dyan,
work and your service.
iinom natin yan next Friday. Okay? Lahat dapat may alam. Okay. So back to you, Bill.
Back to me, folks.
Wala na tayo nasabi.
Yeah. Oh my God,
Yeah.
this was Pau's first acting job. He's amazing.
Yeah.
I know. Is it his first ba?
Correct. And I also super love their kissing scene, as in, because sometimes a kissing scene can really make or break their chemistry
True.
together. And super inaabangan ko talaga yung kissing scene. And sometimes I really notice and remember. For example, if their chemistry is too good throughout the show, tapos bigla ang pangit ng kiss, sometimes the turn off. This time, parang, oh my gosh, they're so consistent. Diba? They're so good with acting. Tapos their kiss was also super powerful. So it kind of adds most to the feels.
Very.
Agree.
Yes.
And I think on and off cam, their chemistry is real.
Yes.
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 True. True. True.
That's true, diba?
So
How
true,
would you
so
think there's
true.
really nothing going on between the two of them?
I'm hoping. Have you
Our
guys
fans
watched
Allies, we will not declare, let them own their own truth.
Right.
Let's not
What
force
are-
it into them.
Yeah.
But of
As much as
course,
we want to go the Lulu over there.
Let's not be the Lulu. One thing that we can
True.
say is that Paolo has admitted to being part of the community. And that's all.
Yes.
That's all that we know.
That's
Right.
fair.
And,
Fair enough.
you know, I mean, it's also, diba, as per Soji, I mean, whatever their sexual orientation, gender expression is, that is their own. And let's respect that. Let's respect it for everyone. Yeah.
Uy, gusto ko lang basahin to super quick lang itong comment ni Ray Monster Lieto. Yes po, total matagal na akong di nakainom, kakaprint ng modules. We just wanna make it clear, no? Ray Monster, mahal ka namin, no? Pero sana naman magbasa-basa muna tayo, baka naman bumagsak ka sa exam mo, no? But we're here as your
Teacher
after
siya.
mo mag-review, punta ka sa amin next week dito. Definitely, you're all welcome. Yeah. Mamaya na
Bring a
mag-print
the green dragon horse.
Teka,
What if
legal na ba siya?
And student modules yung pinaprint.
Is he legal?
Oo.
Pwede
Ay,
rin.
nako.
Or is he a teacher?
Hala, bakit
Yes. Si Sir Will, he's a teacher. I know.
teacher, mama? Naku, yun na.
Yes.
Sige.
And that's the thing, no?
Pumunta ka
Parang
dito.
we have people
Yeah.
from all walks of life who can relate
Yeah.
because this is our story.
Yes. Ay, medical student pala si Chris. I'm so
Oy, good luck
sorry.
with your
Yeah.
studies.
Chris, mag-aral ka, ha?
Great. So
Good
Chris
luck.
Viles feels the same as Pao because Pao is also a
That
medical.
was
Yeah.
also a
Yes.
student.
Oh, nga, no, yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
True.
Ayan. Ay. Wait, did you see the comment from
Which one?
Oil and Rock on Luz 1105?
11:05. Wait.
Okay,
lang.
Daniel. I love that for you, Daniel.
11:05.
1105 Oil and Rock.
Nabasa ko na.
Yeah, nabasa ko rin.
Hi guys,
Really?
after watching GSP, I cried for the scene and habang ang luha ko ay pumapatak, biglang butik.
Bastos! Bastos sa butik yan, ha?
Butiki yung panira ng moment.
Could die. Nako.
Kaya
Nag-unload
Nako.
din ang bitiki ng emotion.
Exactly.
Naglabas ng sama ng loob.
Tama.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Uy, nako. Relatable to. Naka-experience na ba kayo ng ganito? May nag-unload sa inyo na butiki or any animal or insect?
Oo,
Oo
pero
naman.
habang
Oo
nanonood
naman.
emotional
Kaya habang
scene.
nanonood.
Not an animal.
Oh my God. Okay. Right.
baby. A baby.
Yes.
Baby,
I-
okay.
We stand that. We stand that.
Mark, you have to explain otherwise.
May ano.
Context.
Ihanda na ang
water
green
gun,
cross.
Ganyan. When you're when you're in a pool, yan. May mga water gun.
Yeah. More.
Okay. Natawid.
Okay.
O kaya yung mga yung mga automatic na soap dispenser, di ba? Ganon.
No.
The unload, correct. Next squirt.
Yeah.
That's word.
Yeah.
Oh my god. By the way, I think Chris has said that he was it Chris? No, he admitted that he was a teacher. The one who was printing modules, he
Yeah.
admitted that he is a teacher. So,
Okay.
Okay.
salamat rin sa mga educators natin.
Thank
Thank you, Lane.
you.
Yes.
Saludo sa inyo lahat.
Yes, lahat.
Thank you for your extra patience for everyone's students.
Yes.
Especially during this
Salamat
pandemic,
po.
where teaching is doubly hard, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
especially if you're not used to the virtual world yet. So, yeah, we're here to support.
Correct.
Yan,
And
si
maybe
Ray Monster pala.
sometimes it's also okay to, to watch a series now and then as a teacher. Tapos you can also get something from the show so that you can apply in your classes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Already great.
Who mentioned that Ateneo is making BLs as part of their curriculum for a particular
Uh,
subject?
Si Gus before. Gus Agustin, one of his talks,
Agustin.
Tito Talks. Yeah, I mean it's part of now the lineup of Jaja Saturna, Game Boys, and I forgot another one.
Right.
When it comes
So I don't know
to
what-
queer culture or parang LGBT
Yeah.
gender studies.
Ang
Hey,
galing.
I love that. I love that. So, education and discussions and discourse is very, very important, di ba?
Right.
Ayan. May gusto pa ba kayong i-share?
How's medical research related? I used to be struggling med student close to him.
Yeah.
So, Talamasca,
Or maybe-
you're in the medical field. Good job. Thank you for
Used to.
Hopefully soon there will be a BL within the medical field.
Meron naman, pero
I think swab
It's-
test is
swab test is kasi the main of the leads is part of the nurse, I think.
yes in a hospital, right? Yeah.
Mm-mm.
I haven't really watched the show, but yeah, it's out there.
Yeah, I'll just zip it and smile. That's all I could say.
So Daniel
Ako-
John, yeah.
Oh,
Go.
talaga. Siguro that I think you've pretty much said everything naman, no? Parang I would like everybody, even our friends in the comment section, those watching siguro. Parang why don't we do like some sort of immersion siguro? Like let's go back to that scene na nasa gazebo sila. Imagine natin, no? Nasa gazebo and you
Yeah.
have there Carl and Vlad, diba? And then Carl was watching the video and he was being emotional, and then here came Vlad, and then nagkiss sila, and the three saw them, and then di ba parang nagkaroon ng anxiety attack si Carl, right? Parang put yourself in the position of Carl, right? Kasi I mean, we've been hearing stories like from Lance, from you guys, na parang, nakakaawa, ang sakit, ganyan. Parang, did you ever see yourself as a Carl Almacen?
Yeah, diba? I think
Yes.
yeah, yes. I am
Right.
practically a Carl, especially to my dad. I am.
Right. I'm saying that as the character, not as
Oh.
you from the personal life. As Carl talaga, no? Given na ganun yung context ng story niya, parang did you feel his character right at the
Oo.
very Yes, diba?
Yeah, and I think kasi if we as a people, as a person, have gone through that, we would definitely throw ourselves into that scene as well.
Right.
So it would be a reminder of what you've been through. It's like a testament. Even if I think Rayon said a while ago na it gave him false memories as if he was in the pool 2018. So
Right.
if for me, it gave me false memories as if I was Carl watching that montage, but in the back of my head realizing there's my
Right.
dad thinking of this na you should be this kind of person.
Correct. And I guess tayo naman lahat felt that, no? Even yung anxiety attack din, mararamdaman mo talaga na parang kung andun ka sa situation, you would feel the same. Di ba natataranta siya, no? Parang, shucks, nakita nila tayo, di ko kaya, ganyan. You would feel that, no? Let's go naman to Vlad. Parang did you ever feel like you were a Vlad? Sabi nga ni Lance, yes, he felt like
Yes.
Vlad. Like, how about the rest? Did you ever feel like Vlad? Did you imagine yourself as Vlad right at that very moment?
I don't think I've ever felt it
Okay.
in that maybe intensity.
Right.
But
Yeah,
I know how it feels like to declare your love for someone and not have them declare it back.
Yeah.
Like
Yep.
I think we talked about it in a previous episode wherein I admitted to someone, to a very close friend, that I like them, right? And of course, but the thing, but that's different kasi eh. Alam mo yan, parang I wasn't expecting anything in return. But in this case, Vlad was really expecting for Carl to admit to something, that at least there was something between them. But he wasn't able to even admit that. So
Right.
that's why I said not in the same intensity, but maybe sort of like in the same sort of like
Intention.
intention. Yeah, right.
Right. How about the rest? Natawa si Mayo.
Maya, thoughts?
So
Eh,
baliktad naman ako kay Lance. So if Lance feels that he kind of resonates with Carl, baliktad naman. So I kind of resonated with Vlad because I also found myself in a position where I dated someone who's not
Okay.
ready to come out yet. So
mhm.
hirap kasi parang
Right.
make or break situation din yun for that person. And it's also difficult because no matter how strong, I mean, ang hirap din talaga to like to parang hindi ko tuloy ma-describe. Parang pwede kasing it can go super duper nice, but at the same time, pwede din siyang mag-break at the same time if you force him into that situation. Tapos especially with what Vlad did, na it was so
Mhm.
monumental for that other guy. 'Di ba? Na parang it
Right,
can
right.
go as in super extreme ways. It can go super positively, but at the same time, since the other person is not ready, 'di ba? Baka
Mm.
ma-stretch yun too much to the point of breaking that other person, which actually I think happened for Carl.
Mhm, mhm.
Right.
Right. Yung mga girls naman natin, if you were in the same situation.
Okay, I think I'm more of a Carl talaga. Kasi
Okay.
well, I get confused also about what people think. And also, I think in my relationship right now, yeah, parang I'm the type of person talaga na mas conscious, I guess, of what people think about my relationship with my boyfriend. So, parang okay, pwede
Mm,
natin gawin to, ganyan. So,
right.
yeah, I can relate to Carl more.
Okay, so you're more of a Carl. Okay, gets. All right. Patty.
For me naman, I think I'm a bit of both Carl and Vlad.
Mm,
Vlad in such a way that, ano ba, I can see myself in Vlad in the aspect na
Right.
siya kasi 'di ba parang siya yung nag-invest siya talaga ng emotions kay Carl.
mhm,
And
mhm,
I am the
mhm.
type of person na I when I set my eyes on someone, I kind of, medyo malaki din yung emotional investment ko. So ganun. I think that's an aspect of Vlad which I can see myself in. And sometimes it's not a good thing because yun nga, what if the other person is not ready? Tapos hindi niya
Yeah,
na-reciprocate. Parang hindi kayo nagtutugma at a certain level. You're not at
Correct.
the same
true.
frequency. And
True.
it hurts. It hurts when it's like that.
Right.
Masakit. Kasi
Right.
hindi
Right. Right.
reciprocate.
Totoo.
True.
Totoo.
True. True. True.
Mm.
So
And actually,
siguro
yun nga,
ano.
parang, especially if the other person is not yet ready,
Yes.
parang
Yes.
there's
Yeah.
also higher
Mhm.
chance that it might go negatively or in a very awkward
Yeah.
way. Because yun nga, the other
Yeah.
person's not
Yeah.
yet ready, parang is not yet in that actualized phase, diba? So ang
Mm,
hirap, diba? Parang at the
Yeah.
same time, the other person who's loving might, end up frustrating himself. Kasi parang, ang hirap, parang there's also higher chance for you to not get what you want. Parang you're at the losing
right.
end of
Right.
the stick.
Right. Well, Maya.
Pero may
Yeah. Go
question
ahead,
ako
Lance.
for yung para mga Vlads. Like, what would make
Mm,
you wait then? Like, how long can you wait and what would make you wait? Because if you remember the song, ang last lines niya, times have changed, but it's not too late. Rushed my heart
Right.
when I could have just waited.
right. Right.
Right.
So,
Okay.
Right.
what could have made you say, na I'll wait?
Sige,
Or,
sagutin ko
wait,
yan.
wait lang,
Hmm.
before you answer, pasagot pang close off na natin. Yun talaga yung point ko dun eh. Yun yung question ni Lance
Ah,
actually from the song eh. So, okay lang magkwento ako. But this is not my story ha. This is a story of a friend.
sure.
So, the story goes like this. So I met this classmate ko to sa isang workshop na attendant ko, no. I will not make mention of his name. And then he's the self-determined kind of person. Para siyang Vlad, na parang I know who I am, and then I have a boyfriend of 7 years na sila at that time. So plus 3, 10 years na today, to this year. And then I asked him, sabi ko, oh, matagal na kayo ng boyfriend mo. Yes, kaso hindi siya lantad, hindi alam ng family because may pagka-religious ang family, no? Okay, so yun yung question ko sa kanya. Sabi ko, what made you stay? Kasi since college pa raw sila eh. Then when I saw the guy, tinignan ko, talagang, sorry for the term, parang ano siya eh, discreet. I think for the lack of term, that's what we call these guys. Yung tipong tago, I don't want to use the word closeted because to me it's kind of demeaning. I would rather use discreet siguro. Kasi choice ng mga tao, parang, yeah. So anyway, so discreet yung guy. And then sabi ko, what made you stay? Sabi niya, ganun talaga eh. I make that choice because to me, parang I have to adjust. I have to adjust for the person. I have to adjust for the guy. And the reason that we're staying because I made that conscious choice, that strong choice to be with him. And siya then, in return, after a few years,
That's
after
true.
5 years na naging sila, parang it was reciprocated back to him. Dati daw, pag bumabiyahe sila, as in walang litrato or mukha ng guy. Ngayon talagang kitang-kita na yung guy was kind of sweet, the guy was sinusubuan na siya ng pagkain and all. So ako yun yung learning ko eh. Parang siguro yung question ni Lance eh, parang what will make you stay? Kung kayo ay isang Vlad, what will make you stay in the relationship? Kasi it's difficult eh. Tama? Parang it's probably how we can close off
I
the
think-
session. Yeah.
Yeah.
It also depends on the bandwidth of the other. It depends on the bandwidth of the Vlad. Diba? Na parang it depends on what you prioritize in the relationship. If you really want
Okay.
someone who is going to be proud of you, then if it's going to be a non-negotiable for you, then maybe it really will not work. But
Yeah.
if you can be content with the language of love that just private or just between the two of you, then maybe yes, you can wait. And maybe for my case during that time, it really didn't meet my minimum expectations. We had a major fight, so it didn't work out. So it was a
Right.
learning experience for me. I kind of felt it was
Aw.
also a learning way.
Yes, yes. Ang term pa ng friend ko, hindi lang learning curve, eh, baby steps. Sabi niya, kailangan mo talaga ng baby
Yeah.
steps in any relationship. And I'm like, oh my God, hindi ko get.
Extra
Kaya ito ako ngayon,
patience.
single ako. Charot lang.
Oh,
Diba? Yeah, how about you
I
guys?
so
What
agree
what
with
will
what they said.
what will make you stay in the relationship?
If I see that it's worth waiting for. Kasi parang
Yeah.
kung makita mo na parang it will come to a point na parang feeling mo na parang hindi mo na kaya or parang it's either will come to a point na hindi mo na kaya or ayaw mo na or it will come to a point na alam mong kaya mo pa so you'll continue waiting. And at the end of the day, parang kung makita mo naman na hindi na talaga siya mag-work, then 'di ba mag-walk away ka na lang.
Yeah, okay. Mas nasasaktan ako sa mga sagot niyo.
Ang sakit na.
binabasa ko na nga lang eh.
Diba? Oy.
Kasi,
And these are all
on the-
valid.
yeah,
Yeah.
and
True.
that's what's happening with me right now. So, kumbaga, I'm letting my Vlad wait. And on my part, yeah, because of the pandemic, because of my background, because of what's going on in this world right now. So it's been 8 months na ata. So yeah, I mean, on my side naman, as a Carl who's willing to wait or asking that person to wait, because at least compared to me and Carl, I already accepted that part.
Right.
Parang I was just asking him, please wait, let me go on my own pace. But we do feel guilty. We do feel na parang we're cornered sometimes na parang please don't pressure us kahit gusto kong isigaw sa mundo. Kaya lang hindi pwede. Kasi we are trying to balance if we're going back to the different series we've been through, we're all trying to balance the societal structures given to us by religion, by family, by the people around us, by the people that we love.
Yeah.
And it's hard. I mean, it's as hard as trying to digest this episode. Parang ganun siya.
Right.
Na you don't know where to go to, you don't know where to lean on, and the only place you could, parang the only thing that's constant and the only thing that I hang on to is that idea that my Vlad is still there. It's like Ate Judith saying, I'm still here, don't worry, I won't leave. And that's what I'm
Yeah.
hanging on to.
Ah, ba't ko ba tinanong yung tanong na yun? Masasasaktan ako.
Sorry naman.
Ginusto mo yan, so sasagot ako.
Go, Mikey! Yan!
I think it's pretty much. I think it's pretty much what other people have said, right? Parang,
Mhm.
pero I'm trying to look at it from the context of Vlad kasi parang
Okay.
from his experience, parang Carl has already mentioned that he's unsure. I mean, he doesn't know, right? And he wasn't even able to verbalize how he feels about Vlad, right? And I think that hurt Vlad because that's happened to him before, right? That he was left because he was left by someone who wasn't ready to love him back, but he was so willing. He really put himself out there. I mean, he gave his 101%, but it amounted to what he feels was basically nothing, right?
Yeah.
So for that particular, I guess, circumstance, what would make him stay is probably if he feels that there is hope. But I think right now he doesn't feel that there is hope, that there is only pain, and that's why I think he needs to retreat and recover, right,
Yeah.
before he moves on, right, or whatever. But from my current situation, what makes me stay is basically the love. That's it. It's basically the love, right? Despite all of the challenges, despite the distance, despite the cabin
Yeah.
fever, despite all the stuff that's been happening in the world, right? I mean, I think it's love that makes you stay because
True.
that's what ties you
True.
together. I mean, and that love is basically what makes you feel better. I mean, at the end of the day, even if you
Yeah.
come back home, if you come back home and you're alone in your room and you're talking to people from all over the world and you have sessions, etc. But at the end of that, when the quiet settles in, when you are basically physically alone and not talking to anyone, right? There is that love that will sustain you because you know it's there. You know that
That's
there is
true.
someone out there who
Oh.
cares for you and who thinks about you and who loves you back. So, I mean, it's not even a question of maybe what makes me stay. I mean, kasi parang I don't even have that question anymore in my mind because I'm we're here. We are together. Diba? Parang we've gone past that point now. Why should I stay? Hindi na eh. I don't even ask that question anymore.
Okay.
It's more like
Yeah.
how much longer are we gonna be in this world, and how
Girl.
many more memories are we gonna create together?
Yes,
You
yes.
know, it's sort of like, and those are the things that I'm
Mamasahin
looking
to.
forward to. I mean, hopefully this pandemic ends soon
Sa
because
kanya ng corona.
ano nangyari?
I like that.
Um, I
Yeah.
mean, and that's what I'm looking forward to. And that's why I want this pandemic to end because I
Yeah.
feel that
Please.
there's so many
Yeah.
things that we want to accomplish. There are so many things that we want to be able to do together. And I feel like this pandemic is bringing all that to a halt. Alam mo yon, parang instead of us moving together, moving forward and growing together, it's more like it's trying to break that it's trying to break everything, relationships and you know, etc. Alam mo yun, parang it's putting a halt to everything. So I'm hoping that this pandemic will end so that we can all go back to just being together, loving each other, growing old together. You know, those type of things. Yun! Thank you. Goodbye.
So beautiful. I like that.
Sa'yo na yung corona, Mikey.
Oh.
Ito na.
Mama, sa'yo muna to. Ito, oh. Si Mark talaga, gusto ko marinig.
Go,
O,
Mark.
di ba? Quiet lang ako.
Maraming emosyon.
Yeah, because I don't know if I begin talking na baka umabot tayo ng 2 a.m. dito. But
No problem. Yeah.
Dito lang kami.
Yes, kaya namin to.
well, sige, I'll go back to the question earlier. No, if I resonate more to Carl or Vlad, no, I think I would have to say Carl because that's pretty much where I am right now. I've been in a seven na ba? Yeah, 7 year, turning 8 years na. So
Wow.
it at some point it how do I put it into words? Na uh, there are these are arguments. There are discussions and conversations as to when will be the time when the two of us will you get. I think I get. Yeah, I think you pretty much know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
for that long, I mean, because what Mikey said earlier, no, if that love can make you stay in a relationship. But I think it's not only love that can make you stay in a relationship. I mean, as you may feel strongly about someone, but there may be a lack of respect. There may be a
True.
lack of understanding. There
Yeah.
may be lack of because I think if you shower someone with so much love and you then it doesn't equate to the same level of respect, understanding. It would make you feel like you're a maniac that is so blinded that you tend to hurt the person you love. So
Mm.
um well, I think for me it's yeah, love is one, respect is one, understanding, like you even need to be at the same level of like mental wavelength. I mean, you need to understand each other. Like even in your normal conversations, it plays a part. That like if that person that you want to spend or like you invest your time, effort, and your emotions with, doesn't even understand you, that's something that it's for you to decide whether it's a compromise or is it a non-negotiable, because it all boils down to um how much willing you are in terms of what to give in and what not to. So you just need to, yeah, that's I think that's a very good indicator in how communication should really play a huge part in a relationship and how you would foster it. And it's like a baby plant eh. Parang
Yeah.
you need to water it every day, but you should not overwater it because it will drown. But you should not underwater it, if there's such a term. So because you'll make it dry. I mean, it will not grow, and you'll not bear the fruits of your efforts, of the time you put when you're watering the plants. I mean, you water it every day if the plant requires it. I mean, water it
True,
once a
true.
week if it requires it. So if it all boils down, then there are different types of plants, just like there are different types of love.
Right.
I mean, there are different
Mm-hmm.
requirements
Agree.
as to how that special relationship will grow and foster. I mean, if it works for you, then it works for you. Then if not, you have to make it work. Whether you need to find your common ground and compromise on how you'll make it work, or if your non-negotiables are already being nasasagasaan. I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
that's something you should
Mm.
also assess whether how
True, true,
you
true,
would,
true.
because before you go into a relationship with someone, you are your own someone first. I mean, you should
Yep.
not. I mean, yeah, it's really good that there's someone who you can rely onto. So whenever you need someone to talk to, someone to
Right,
share your
right.
stories with, someone to
Mm-hmm.
make you feel validated. But first and foremost, you should be able to tell your own stories to yourself and admit it to yourself,
Yeah.
whether yeah, and you should be able to present yourself to yourself first. I mean, be brave to who you are, for who you are,
Love
to your
yourself.
own
Yes.
understanding. Yeah, so that's a very important thing on how. So
Mm.
I've said so many things, but basically, you
No,
should love
it,
yourself first
it
before
makes sense.
you
Yeah.
love someone. Yeah,
It makes sense.
That's true.
RuPaul.
That's true.
Ano ba yung sabi ni
yeah.
RuPaul?
I think
You
Yeah,
don't
that's
love yourself.
RuPaul.
How the hell
how
you gonna love
yeah.
someone else? True.
Boy.
That's what Carl is
Yes,
going
and you should
through.
also know what your needs are, diba?
Yes.
And make sure that those needs are met as
Mm-hmm,
well.
mm-hmm. I agree.
So I
Absolutely.
think that's where Carl is also right now. That he is at the cores of loving himself first. I mean,
True.
he's not even started identifying himself yet. So
Yes.
I think that's
Right.
which is basically the first step on loving yourself. So
Yeah.
if he's
Right.
not yet, I mean, he's not yet ready to love himself as to who he really is or who he thinks he really is, and then
Mm-hmm.
there's this someone who's been willing who's already there and is willing to join the ride, who's willing to open doors for you, who's willing
Yeah, yeah.
to share your nights under the same warm, cozy blanket with. So
Yay?
it's somehow like parang I
Mhm.
don't want to say that it's
Ano
I
ba
don't want to say
yan?
that it's the right love at the wrong time, but I just
Mm,
really hope that not only Carl and Vlad in Gaya sa Pelikula, but all the Carls and Vlads out there would
right.
find
Mhm.
their own, the things that would make them stay in their relationship.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Yeah. I mean, it's easy to fall in love, but it's harder to stay in love.
Very true.
Agree.
yes.
Ay,
Very, very true.
yes,
Agree.
yes.
Especially these days, di ba? Parang people are
Oy,
easily
oy, magaganda
distracted.
yung mga,
Go, Nico.
yes, Mikey, go ahead. Go.
No, it was just a comment. So you were gonna say something. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, siguro, like, you guys are, like, saying these beautiful things. No? Gusto ko talagang sagutin tong tanong ni Pietro Mendez, no? Si Nico
Which
lang ba ang
one?
single sa lahat? Ayan, no?
Sasagutin,
Sago,
sasagutin namin.
sasagutin ko rin yan. Ako,
Go ahead.
and
Present!
present! Ayan. So, I think I like what I heard from Mark. Siguro, to that question na parang what makes you stay, I'd like to echo also what Maya said, na parang it depends on what your priorities are at the end of the day. No? I've been
Yeah.
through heartbreaks also. Pero these heartbreaks made me more rational and more objective rather. Hindi ko sinasabing hindi ako emotional na tao. Marupok din ako, I'm telling you. Pero I tend to like cope with the such situation better compared before. Na to me ang treatment ko, ako to ngayon ha, parang if like somebody comes and then parang hindi ko nakakitang may potential, I could easily like get over that someone. Andun ako sa point yun. But I'd like
Yeah.
to highlight also what Mark said na parang I'm more into self-love at the moment. And you know what? Parang
Yeah.
I've been self-loving myself, ano daw? Parang for about 2 years now. And it's a good space for me na parang to the
Mhm.
point that if somebody comes, I get annoyed for some reason. If somebody comes, parang shocks, natatakot ako na ibigay yung mundo ko because nai-enjoy ko na yung mundo ko. And I have a lot of plans already in my head. Um, na parang hindi ko kayang give up yung sarili ko at the moment. Parang ito yung sinasabi ni Mark na parang you have to develop yourself at the moment. I see you guys na parang happy with your own partners in your relationship. But I'm happy for you guys. But ako, seeing myself in it, parang hala, nakakatakot. Kasi iniisip ko rin, am I just fascinated by the idea of romance? 'Di ba? Baka lang kasi fascination lang 'yan eh. That's a whole different story. Baka hindi ko nakikita sarili ko in a relationship at the moment. I'm just fascinated by the idea of romance. So, yes, parang self-love is very important. Parang value yourself now. You don't really have to like succumb to whatever you see there kasi iba ang kwento ng tao eh, no? Iba-iba kasi 'yan. Siguro parang this really struck me yung quote in the end, no? Parang ikaw ang pagmamay-ari, ikaw ang may pagmamay-ari sa sarili mong
Alam sa sarili mo
katotohanan.
katotohanan.
I think that every relationship that we have at the moment, even the relationship that we have sa sarili natin, that's our truth eh. And it's for us to like protect, and it's for us to preserve, and it's for us to live at the end of the day. Eh. If we choose to be in the relationships that we have at the moment, 'di ba? Parang through thick or thin, that's your truth and that's your choice at the end of the day, right? So, yung sinasabi ni Mikey na parang relationships are being torn apart, yeah, but you're still there anyway, 'di ba? And like for me, and ako sa sarili ko lang to, no, and I don't know what Patty will say about this. It's my truth. I want myself to be here now, and I'm happy, right? Parang hindi pa ako ready at the moment. So yun lang yung last words or parting words ko. Patty, go away. Go away.
Parting na tayo.
Go away. Joke lang.
Bye!
Dapat ang sasabihin,
Ate stay.
dapat ang sasabihin ko, take it away. Ganon. O, go,
Take it
Patty.
away.
Okay, well, for me naman, I think the reason why I am where I am right now is because this is where I want to be right now.
Okay.
I am not currently looking. I'm not really actively looking at the moment.
Okay.
So when it comes, it comes.
Right.
Yeah.
True.
And for me, when that person comes, I think that I could finally say that it's worth the wait,
Mm-hmm.
because then I would know that at least I knew that I did not push myself into doing something that I am not sure about, or
Yes.
'di ba? Kasi ayoko naman na
Or you're not
I
ready
don't
for.
I don't I'm not ready for, and I don't want to do things half-assed,
Yes.
'di
Yes.
ba? I mean, why would I put myself in a situation wherein I am not pretty sure of something,
Right.
something like that, 'di ba? So
Right. Right.
yun, ang motto ko, love yourself.
Yeah.
Yes, Tati.
Yes.
Correct. Wait,
So
ako may
dumb.
message ako to the two singles.
Yeah.
Ano
Well,
daw?
actually, I super duper. No, may message ako for the two singles. Well, it's
Okay.
also very admirable, especially
Mm.
for you to know
Aww.
what you want. Diba? Kasi
No.
Mm,
while it takes patience, it takes guts to stay in a relationship, it also
Mm.
takes guts and it also takes discipline for you not to fall into the wrong relationship. Do you get what I mean? Diba? Parang,
Yes.
yeah.
number one, it shows
Ay,
that you
Yeah.
naiyak
know what you
ako,
want.
Maya.
Number two, um, you're also secure enough to to find happiness within yourself, and you're also secure enough to wait, diba? For that right moment or right person to come for you, and you're not forcing yourself, because what can happen is that you can force yourself into a relationship that can go awry, or you can find yourself
Yeah.
with the wrong
Yeah.
person at the wrong time. So rather than
Mm.
that happening, diba, it's sometimes even better for you to, just really find peace with yourself, because it also
Yeah,
takes
yeah.
a lot for you to find your own happiness with your own self and be secure with your own space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Mm.
to follow that up, parang I know what Nico's been through kasi I'm the type when he met me, I was in that same space, but I wanted to explore love. Parang that's when I realized that my first love was actually I fell in love with the idea of falling in love.
Mhm, mhm,
It
mhm,
took me 5 years to realize that.
mhm, mhm.
That's why when I said love, when I said na it's harder to stay in love kasi parang year by year you're finding your own reasons. Why am I staying for love? Why am I still in this relationship? Why am I still here with the same person, even
Mm.
after all these quirks, even after I find all the bad things about this person.
Right.
Pero like what Patty is above, I think I'm Patty now. Na it took me 10 years. It took me through this roller coaster when I found myself saying, na, "Yeah, heck with it. I'll love if I love. If I find love, good. If not, I'm also good at that too."
Yeah.
And I think during that time, when I was in that Patty state, I met Pietro.
Yeah.
Na I didn't know he was there. I didn't know he was coming. I didn't know that we would be encountering in a party. I didn't know that I'd eventually fall for that person. And when that love,
Mhm,
sabi nga ni nanay ni Tita Ate Leila, when that time is right, that love is right, di ba?
mhm, mhm,
And you'd feel that love, that staying in love isn't that hard as pala.
mhm.
So I'm happy for you both, and I'm happy that
Oy, thank
you can
you. Thank you.
Thank
stand
you.
for that. Kasi it takes, sabi nga ni Maya, it takes a lot of guts to
Mhm,
stand by for what you believe in. And kasi
mhm.
for me, in order to fully love someone, you have to give something of yourself. You have to
Yeah.
share yourself with someone. In order to do that, you should be stable enough to love yourself as well. Especially
Right.
when you feel that love parang hindi na equal, hindi na pantay.
Yeah. Mm-mm.
Mm.
Yeah.
Uy, Maya, thank you for, I think you're the first person to tell me that. Kasi sa lahat ng mga kaibigan na nakausap ko talaga, I would always hear like, uy, if it comes, it comes. Antay ka lang talaga. But naiyak ako ng konti because I felt validated because of what you said. Kasi it's tough eh. I've been single since 2012. Hindi talaga, I mean, sabi ko nga eh, I always blame myself eh. Am I just too complicated? Am I just too overthinking? Baka the guy is not really here in the Philippines. Probably it's somewhere out there. Hindi ko alam. Diba? Ay, ganun yung mga thoughts ko eh. But it
Yeah.
takes so much guts. It's tough. I'm telling you. Minsan naiiyak ako.
Yes.
Minsan I self-doubt. Inisip ko, sabi ko, hindi ba ako attractive masyado? Is my personality too strong for people? Do I have to like tone down a little bit? Yung mga ganyang compromises. But you emerge stronger amidst all these self-doubt and then all these heartbreaks because at the end of the day, mawala na lahat, okay? And definitely siguro your family, I mean, hindi naman magtatagal yung pamilya mo. Mawala na lang lahat, mawala na yung tao, mawala na yung mga bagay, wag lang mawala yung sarili mo. And never ever lose yourself. Yun yung iniisip ko all the time eh. No, I might have heartbreaks all the time, but at least I don't lose myself. Yun yung parang principle ko at the moment. So Maya, thank you for validating. Yun lang. Thank you. Self-love, hashtag, yes.
Self-love.
Yes.
Love.
And that is your truth. That is your katotohanan.
Yeah.
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 Yep.
And no one can take that away from you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Come on.
So guys, I have a question. Do you guys think magkakatuluyan sila sa next episode?
Yes, our guest.
I feel like we're gonna be left
question na yan.
hanging.
I
Yeah.
think
The cliffhanger.
Alam mo yung Soto's cliffhanger?
Same.
Yung ganong effect. You just get the parang first introduction, then you're cut off. Season 2.
I think they have to do na.
And I think somebody mentioned it in the chat that this series is supposedly set in 2018, right? And there's also been talk that this is actually a prequel to another. So basically, it's going to be the other series is going to be a continuation of this one. So I'm thinking that and it's very likely that they will not end up together in this particular series. But don't quote me on that because I'm not involved in any way in the production. But I think they're not going to be ending up together, at least not at this time. And then maybe season 2, that's when they work out their stuff because there is a lot, especially for Carl. I mean, like Lance mentioned earlier, it is a very long process for you to start accepting yourself, and you have to be able to accept yourself in not just a particular situation, but in all aspects of your life. Like for example, right now he's still in that headspace wherein he is still encumbered by his parents, right?
Okay.
I mean, just the thought of his parents getting disappointed in him makes him retreat back into that, okay, I'm a good boy mindset, right? So he has to get over that. And I don't know if he's going to be confronting his parents in the next episode, but if he doesn't, then most likely it'll be in the next season, right? And apart from that, there's also the move from architecture to film, right? So that's another aspect of it. And he hasn't even accepted himself, so there is that internal struggle as well. And how will he face that internal struggle? Like, I mean, what experiences or what scenarios or situations will he go through for him to be able to finally say, okay, so I'm going to be accepting myself, right? So, I mean, if Vlad wasn't able to do that for him, what could be a scenario that would make him confront himself and finally declare to himself that he is a certain type of way, that he falls within this particular spectrum? So there's a lot of stuff that needs to happen, right, before they actually get together. And then Vlad also has issues with himself, like the rejection, the ghost of the dad, the ghost of the ex, and all that. So I think that they need to be apart. I think it's necessary for them to be apart so that they can figure things out for themselves. So that then when they come together, they're going to be more, I don't know, I wouldn't want to say mature, but they'll be more, I guess, cognizant or more, I guess, on the same page rather than at the moment, because it feels like they're sort of like doing a tug of war. One is pulling and one is like pushing the other away. So a lot has to happen. So I think one episode isn't going to be able to do that. But again, Gaya might surprise us. So
pero there's drops already that Ian is cutting his hair, and they were saying that in the Banlao session that Gaya was hinting on season 2. So let's see.
Hannah has a question. Sorry.
Who?
Hannah. Sana ba? Hindi ko na makita.
Pero waiting for Hannah's question.
What time is it? Okay.
Si Maki.
Hello.
Hannah from
Baka talaga Maki.
11:30 what? 32?
Hannah from 11:43.
Well,
42,
Hannah,
sorry.
First of
Yeah.
all. First of all.
Eh,
Pakisagot.
No. But I'm open to be your friend. You want to have a
Ay.
coffee date.
oh.
You can send us a yeah.
Yeah, definitely. We're open to new friends.
Yes.
Yes, and we love new friends.
Ayan. Sabi nga ni Albert, the quit or the quit. You guys are also
Okay.
happy to find this channel. Yes, loves listening to the discussions. Hugs to all. At dahil dyan, okay, we'd like to celebrate our 171 subscribers.
Ah.
Maraming salamat po. We're so happy.
Arigato, danke.
So, we're
Gracias,
hoping,
Bedank. Mahalo.
so road
Merci.
to 200 before Friday next week before yung inuman session natin.
Feeling ko sa inuman.
Yeah,
That's
Sana sa inuman.
yes, help us
Bagsakan
make this
ito.
happen. 200 or
Hindi ako
more.
magkalat sa inuman.
We want more people in the group. Brouhaha is a safe space and a happy space. So please help us make
Yeah.
this happen. Road to 200 next week Friday, inuman session natin. Tulungan po natin ang bawat isa makuha ang 200 na yan.
Yes.
We want more.
Oh my God,
174 na daw sabi ni Sir Will.
Oh, 174 na raw.
Oh my God, thank you so much.
Yay!
Oh, I think Pat is going to
But
bed.
actually,
Good night, Pat.
si Patty.
Night pa.
Pat
Night, Pat.
Maliksi.
Pat Alexei,
Kala ko
Patrick.
si Patty.
Thank you, Pat. Thank you,
Ciao.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. See you next time. Have a good rest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But more than the 174 subscribers that we have right now, we are
Mm.
more than thankful for how engaged everyone is. I mean, it's
Right.
yeah. I mean, it's really quality over quantity for the lack of a better
Yep,
way to
yep,
describe
yep,
it. Pero
Yes,
yeah,
yes,
and how
yes.
engaged our subscribers are. So,
Yes.
Right.
thank you so much.
And that's
Uy,
one of the
pasya-
reasons why we do
Sige,
this,
Ate.
because we want to hear
Yes.
from other people. We want to hear your
Yeah.
stories. We want to listen to your perspectives. Because,
Yes.
diba, parang, as you've noticed, we all have different takes on different things, right? And the more people that share their thoughts, the more we are also educated and informed.
Yeah.
So thank you very much for doing that, guys, for sharing.
Uy, shout out daw sa Iloilo.
Shout out.
Pinoy TV
Shout out.
101. Shout
Pinoy
out.
TV 101.
Yes,
I've got
Iloilo.
best friends in Iloilo, so I just sorry I forgot their words, pero I love Iloilo.
Wala.
It's beautiful.
Oo, they say
Salamat
that
po.
it's
Yes.
It-
Oh my
sabi
God, that's
nila,
my third
ano-
home.
ay talaga. Ay.
Yes,
Although
oh my God.
I've only spent like 2 weeks in Iloilo, then another week after 4 months.
Uy.
So the 3 weeks in Iloilo, I was really welcomed and sobrang, like all the things that you wish were present across the country, especially in Manila, like where we are,
Yeah.
majority but are in right now. So nakakainggit ang Iloilo. So very, very kudos to not only their governments but also their people. So hello sa inyong
True.
lahat.
Oy, they
Right.
say that, Iloilo daw, ang Iloilo kay lugar sa tinuod o lalom na paghigugma. Yeah! So that means,
Wow.
What
so
does that
it's
mean?
the place, tama ba ako? The place of the deepest love, parang ganon. Basta malalim
Oo.
na pag-ibig. Yeah.
Yung ginugma is like
Ooh.
love, diba? Oh.
Higugma,
But it's also called the Queen
Yeah.
City of the South, so
Yes.
parang ganun.
Yeah.
The original
Oh,
Queen City daw.
Uy,
And
along-
shout out
Yes.
daw, anong pangalan niya? His name is Gilbert Mercado. Hey,
there
Gilbert,
you
he's
go.
from
Hey.
Tigbawayan,
Hi, Gilbert.
Iloilo.
Yes.
And I think that's one of the tribes ng Dinagyang. I think because I'm always there for Dinagyang. It's just a few years, pero
Yes,
Dinagyang
yes,
is way fun in Iloilo. I had so much fun shooting there, especially that you could
Yeah.
feel the live tribal beats
Mhm.
and energy during the festival.
Right.
Right. And that's one of the things that I miss, right? I mean, it's traveling and seeing new places,
Yes.
participating in festivals, all of the
Mhm.
fanfare and all of the fun.
Oh,
Anyways,
Yeah, and hi to Robia Mateo from Iloilo.
Ayan, wait lang.
Congratulations.
Gusto ko talaga i-push to. Rebia Mateo, Miss Universe Philippines. Yes. Girl, Wala, side
Support.
kwento lang talaga to. So nanood ako ng parang talk show, live lang, and she was there, and then yung kwento niya talaga sobrang heartbreaking, naiyak talaga ako. Na parang
Why?
I'll be supporting her 101% talaga of all the things that we've seen in the Philippines. So, hindi sila well off eh. Merong photo kasing mom niya. Di ba yung photo nga niya, no? Parang it was taken by another candidate eh, Miss Jensen. May ganung kwento eh. Kasi yung phone niya got busted. So nanghihiram siya ng phone para makakuha ng magagandang photos para may ma-post siya sa Instagram. That's one story. Another story, merong photo na nag-circulate online of her mom parang nakaganyan sa isang flat screen TV with Rabia Mateo na nasa TV. And then, ang backstory pala na yun, hindi pala TV ng nanay niya. Parang nakinood lang daw yung nanay niya dun sa kapitbahay or sa bahay ng high school friend niya. And dun siya umiyak talaga. And I'm like, oh my God, girl, you have my support all the way. Kung asan man yung Miss Universe. Yun lang.
Kita mo naman eh, di ba? Ang dami na papag-usapan sa mga chats natin.
I know. Kulang na lang, Nico, natawag na tayo sa kabila or for Sunday, si Crystal Parasay, nako.
Yes! Crystal, Miss Universe. Oh, meron pa pala isang shout out din. Shout out din po from Lano del Norte, Mindanao. Hey, Pahad Alejandro. Oh, by the way, I am actually from Lano del Norte, Iligan City. I was born in Iligan City, Lano del Norte. So I think kababayan ko to. Hello, maayong gabi.
Hello.
Great.
Yes.
And I also love hearing from people from all different parts of the Philippines, right? Oh my God, Dad.
Ayun na.
Bakit pa tayo mag-ubot ng international? Pwede naman magbutoan na lang tayo. Butoan City na lang.
True.
I don't think that's a char. I think it's a not char format.
Wait,
Embrace who you are.
yes. Wait, before we
Yes.
go, I'd like to flash something to everyone before tayo matulog siguro talaga. No?
Yeah.
Ayan, sige. Can you see the visuals now?
No.
Yes.
Oh, that. Yes.
Yeah.
Ay, gusto ko to.
Sandali.
Yeah.
Bakit may naka-flash pa na? Okay, comment. Okay. So, we would like to invite everybody. Sino bang gustong mag-invite sa ating mga friends out there? So, we're gonna have a talk this Sunday. Yes?
Yep.
At 10 p.m.
Okay.
And if
Go
you're
ahead.
familiar, kasi total we just featured Gaya sa Pelikula, and we have a talk called Speak Room, wherein the Brouhaha gang will be talking about the skinny on Soji or everything about the Soji bill. So I hope you guys would attend. That's going to be 10 p.m. So if you have any questions, remarks, or suggestions, please do attend on Sunday. That's November 8, 2020. And if we had a crossover from, if you watch just the alley things from Adrian Vergara's show, we have the same guest, Chief Thais Estrada from the Metro Manila Pride. So he's going to be talking for us too regarding this.
Right.
She's going to be talking. So
I'm interested because I want to be educated as well on the Soji
Yeah.
bill.
Yeah, same.
So I hope you guys are there.
and it's all gonna happen on the same YouTube channel, so or on Facebook. So if you're wondering where it'll be, you just have to log into BBS or search BBS or Brouhaha B Squad, and we're gonna show that here at 10 p.m.
Right.
Yeah. So see you then.
So same channel, same thing. same.
Yeah, same people, same Brouhaha.
It's gonna be us, right?
Uy, wait lang. Ayoko talaga i-miss out ng mga pa-shoutout from Pangasinan. Hello,
Yes!
Canward
Talent, come on, represent.
Hey,
Yes. And meron din from? Sino magbabasalita?
Lipa.
Batangas.
Batangas.
I miss Batangas.
Yes,
I'm Tagaytay.
And we also have from Calgary. Yes?
Canada.
Canada. Ooh, hey.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
And
Yes.
she's a K-pop fan. It's
Correct. It's exactly 9 a.m. now in Canada, in Calgary. So good morning to you.
Good morning.
Yes. Good morning.
I think
Wait,
there's
wait,
also another one.
Yeah.
11:51.
Ito ba?
Yes, sir.
From
Bulacan.
Elementary.
Ito mo na, Bulacan mo na. Hagawa na yung Bulacan,
Yan.
M51.
Hi, Sir Will.
Hi, Sir Will.
Yes,
51,
laban.
Patty. Sorry, nahihilo na ako sa mga comments. Thank you so much,
There are
guys.
so many. Thank you very much for being so engaged, guys. We love hearing from you, actually.
11:51 ba, Patty?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. Sonam Airy.
Ito ba?
Sanam
Hindi.
Airy?
Yes.
Oh
my God.
11:51.
Hello.
It's
It
What
says
was okay.
it was a very nice
Oh,
and interesting.
yeah.
Interesting. Lots of
This
love
one.
from Nepal.
Lots of love from Nepal.
Oh,
Yay! Want to go to your country, but yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
and then
Actually,
EXO.
my bucket list. But
Yeah,
pandemic.
me too.
Ooh, super. I feel the love. Everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. Ano to? Oh, shout out din from Pampanga. Ang dami.
Yes.
Hey, your food is great.
Manyaman,
Hello,
yeah.
mga kapampangan.
From the
And the
Gupan City
Gupan.
as well.
Yes.
Lahat na,
God.
copies, copy street.
Yan, we have from Davao del Norte.
Del Norte.
I think there's someone from Jensen.
It's like Miss Universe Philippines all over again.
Ah, yeah!
Yes.
I'm telling you. Represent. Uy, butuan pala si Pat Maliksi. Bisaya ka
Kaya pala
man?
Botswana.
Yeah.
Kaya.
Oh.
Kaya
Feeling
pala.
kanina. Wrong is feeling.
Yes.
Oh, my
Uy,
friend.
Jensen, tuna.
Tuna capital of the
Justy
Uy,
world.
May. Justy May. 11:58.
58.
Justy May.
You can go here as well in the UK.
This one. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey.
Hey,
Another
good
one from
afternoon.
Jane. I think 11:58.
Sawadee
Sawadee-kap!
Oh, hi,
Oh, my-
James.
May Cebu din. Hey, Cebu!
Cebu.
Maayong buntag na. Okay.
Maayong adlaw.
May adlaw, yes.
Jensen
Shout out from
again.
Jansen as well. Ang dami. Oh, from Mandaluyong. Wala, parang binibili
Sa
Pilipinas
Mandaluyong.
lang to ah.
Oh, I
So,
Sino ba representative natin dyan?
correct. From San Jose,
Wow.
Prosperidad, Agusan del Sur. Yes.
Wow.
Philippines!
Philippines!
Philippines. Oh, we have
Ito
here
talaga yung
from,
ginawa natin, no? Nag-trip around the world tayo.
Uy, from Northeast Nagaland. Wow!
Where's that?
Wait, Bicol ka?
I know that's in between Thailand
Bicolano.
and up there. Or Bicolano, Nagaland. Which Nagaland ba? That's the question.
Is it India? Is it Nagaland, India?
Kasi I know it's
I don't know.
Nagaland's in between Thailand and India.
Oh,
Parang
can you
ganun.
clarify?
If we're going that area, or could be Nagaland, Camarines Sur. So hey, wherever you are.
Nagaland is actually in northeast of India, so maybe it's India.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, because of the name. Songs are, yeah, okay.
Cool.
By
Ito
the way,
talaga
guys,
si Pat,
those are,
si Pat Maliksi
sorry.
talaga. Oh, nabotas pala talaga siya, hindi siya butuan. Alam mo ikaw?
Lahat na may butas na.
Yung totoo.
Yes. The
Lahat
botas
may
Wait ka
represent.
dyan.
Ang dami. Ang dami. Ang dami ng bawal.
Akala ko galing siya ng shoe capital of the Philippines, which is Shoe
Marikina.
Boulevard.
Buisit.
Nakakainis. Gusto ko yun.
Nasagot na ako ng Marikina.
Correct. Ako rin
Kaya
eh.
nga, ako din eh. Tapos may Rizal. Sa mga taga Rizal dyan, hey.
Rizal din
And
tayo.
Samar.
May Samar.
Those who are asking about our social media accounts, on our
Wait,
banner,
nice.
we show that sometimes, so you can go ahead and check it out there.
Is that Spain, España, Pilipinas, o en qué país?
España, Manila.
Hola, buenos días, buenas tardes, bienvenidos aquí.
Yes. Love from India. Yes.
Wow.
Right. Saan pa ba? We have here from... Alam mo kami na miss out ako ha.
Miss Universe.
From
Miss Universe to.
Ito.
Miss
12
Universe.
o'clock.
Isabella
Joke Miss
Province.
Yeah.
Hey.
Hello.
Agabaw.
Ikaw
Maybe
ka na
from-
si Gon Atapan. Ay, sorry.
Saan? Actually,
That's true. Given me gun
How would
at
you like Chimon?
Ay, talaga tayo patigilin, no? Kaya they're putting every province.
Feeling ko niloloko na tayo ng mga
Nueva Ecija.
Star City daw, nawala na. No?
Oh, kalookan.
Yes, o lahat na. O, okay na tayo?
Dami.
Ayaw pa nga daw nila tayo eh. Ang
Pero
huli-huli daw,
hindi
love from
yung
Taiwan.
family
So, hi
meeting.
Taiwan.
Taiwan! Okay, there you go.
Taiwan.
Hello.
I miss
Ni
Taiwan.
hao.
I want to go back to Taiwan.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yes, yes, yes,
Let's
yes.
all go.
Yeah, I haven't been there yet. I've
Uy,
been to
ano
the airport.
yan?
Hanggang airport lang.
You should go. You should go. Very
Favorite
nice.
favorite place niya ni Maya.
Yeah.
Minsan ni Maya.
Yeah,
You're-
Maya.
you're tour
Kaya
guide.
ni Maya, Jay.
Minsan ni Maya.
We have a
Wala
special
kayanin
place
ko ba?
in his... Charot.
Wait.
I'm allergic to MS. Ang takot ko lang kasi dyan. I'm allergic to MSG. So, I get rashes or I turn red with MSG. So, I had an experience in China.
Eh.
So, I'm kind of scared.
And then bring lots of
Mag-milk ka na lang lagi.
Ako, love from the Kaharian ng Encantadia. Pashnea!
Abisala! Abisala!
Pashnea! Ganyan. Abisala pala dapat. Hindi pala Pashnea, sorry. Abisala.
Minumura mo siya eh.
Oo, Abisala.
Diyos ko.
Diba? Mga Pashnea,
Yeah, okay na
mga
siguro
haliparot. Oo, okay na siguro to.
Okay na siguro to.
Oo.
Wala na tayo
Lahat
na contribute sa
and
GST.
12 o'clock na po kasi. Kalat na tayo.
Sabado na tayo.
Ayan, kay Itzy daw. She or he, what's your preference? Itzy, what's your pronouns? So,
I'm single. Hit me up, Char.
Itzy
Okay.
single, so go.
Yeah, go ahead and start talking to each other. Who knows? You might become great friends. Or more, whatever.
Uy, may last
Mark,
request na
Maki, may
Mark.
payuda daw si Hana.
Gawin mo raw
Maki.
yan.
Uy,
Ako.
Diyos ko.
Go, Maki.
Go, Ma.
Para mas kaya ko yan.
Gawin mo to.
oo nga. Well,
Guys,
I read,
Oh,
I
ikaw na
read
save
lang
nyo
yan.
yan for
Ayan,
Inoman.
ikaw na,
Save
ikaw.
nyo yan for Inoman. Diba? Wala pa.
Ibalik ko
Ganun,
ulit
no?
si Mark. Okay na. There you go.
Yan, okay na. Okay.
Okay na,
Okay.
push.
May fan girl na si Maki.
Oh my
Wow.
God.
Oo nga eh.
I read in the comments that he is using daw his sister's YouTube account. So his name is Warren.
Oh,
So hello,
okay.
Warren.
Hi, Warren.
Hi, Warren.
Use your account next time, you know?
Yeah.
Um,
Sorry,
yes, Jesse,
I
maybe.
cannot flex my muscles because my mind is my muscle. So I'll
Yeah!
flex it.
Love that.
Come through.
Shabam.
Yeah. Pop na
Done.
pa.
I want to know everyone's
Bakit ganun?
Ah, okay. Well, we
Ooh.
really want to.
Oh, you can make one if you want.
Yeah. Thanks for the idea.
Yeah.
We've always considered the
Yeah.
chat as a group chat. So I guess I don't know.
Diba? Yeah.
What do you guys think?
Or Facebook group.
Joy, alam mo na gagawin mo, Joy.
Yeah,
Classmate, you know what to do.
Meko, we all are Meko, definitely, and we'll definitely react or not react. We'll definitely chat and discuss the the 8th episode next week. So we hope to see everyone, and just me, we hope to see you there. Yes.
Guys, may naglalandian na sa chat natin, oh.
Sino?
I think
Si Air Stars.
Oh, I love that.
Hi, Itzy.
Oh.
Saan? Ayun, sige
Pero-
mag-message na lang kayo
Oo.
dyan ha. Drop your
Go ahead.
Instagram or Twitter account.
Di ba pwede na magpakasal sa Taiwan? If I
Yeah,
get married
pwede.
there ba,
Yeah.
will it be recognized in the
Pwede.
Philippines?
no.
Or will find out
Legally, no.
on Sunday?
Our law does not recognize
Oh, yeah,
same-sex
okay, that's fine.
marriages.
Nako,
Okay, Rodel.
Mark.
Yes.
Daming fans, Maki.
Grabe,
Thank you so
Maki.
much.
Grabe talaga.
Joke lang. Thank you.
You are the face of BBS. Gagawin ka ng modelo talaga
So,
ng BBS.
guys,
Oh,
our
yeah.
social
Face
media is
of
on the
His
banner.
It's down
number
there.
is, so,
If you wanna
magagalit si
follow,
Boy P.
it's down there. You know, waiting is killing. Yes, we agree, Justine.
Yes.
I think that wraps up our episode for tonight.
O, lasa talaga. Sabi ni Warren to, no?
Wala na
Warren,
talaga,
yeah.
Maki.
Persistent. Where's this?
Sapiosexual rules. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, sapiosexuals.
Pawisan ako. Oh my God.
Ayan. Bago
Sorry
talaga
na,
mabasa ng
Mama.
tuluyan si Maki. I just want to say thank you to everyone who is in the chat, who attended, and who shared with us their stories and their perspectives on the episode. We'd like to hear from you again next week as we close the series on PSP. If you want to follow us and subscribe to us, go ahead and go to our social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. And we hope to see you next time. For now, thank you, and good night to everyone.
Good night.
Inuman. Bring
Thank you. Live your truth, guys. Live your truth.
Bye.